Everybody is on their own life's journey. So, first of all, man, know thyself.
Hi, my name is Wamide Animashao, and I'm the co-founder at CAWSTEM, Connecting African Women in Science, Tech, Engineering and Math. Today we're hosting CAWSTEMSummit 1.0 in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, and we're so excited to welcome all the amazing women in STEM, whether they're just starting, looking to pivot, or have been working in there for a while.
My name is Rama. I'm here to meet amazing women in tech. It would really help to have a network that has more women, right? Because it's easier to connect, easier to share thoughts and ideas. And yeah, generally here to have a good time. So,
one thing I learned today that stood out for me is that I should never allow anyone put me in a box, especially career-wise. I should be willing to transition and move on to the next career when I feel like it's time to explore something new.
The summit was able to cover everybody from people switching careers, people transitioning, people requiring promotions, and people trying to explore other platforms in tech. So yeah, that really stood out for me.
Alone in the room today. We have our online guests. Online attendees, we're so glad that you joined us this morning in the comfort of your home, and we hope that you're as excited for this event as we are. Please sit down, take your notepads, get ready to take notes because you're going to be learning a lot today. And I can tell you that there might be some goodies for you at the end of this event. And those of us in the room as well, there are some goodies for you. So make sure you stay attentive and do what we say, because it's only those that follow those instructions that will win something. Who wants to win something today? Exactly. Alrighty. If you look at your hands, I'm sure each of us is wearing a band. If you're not wearing a band, can you signify? Exactly. So we're all wearing bands, right? Can you wave your hands with your band? You know how they do in the royal family. All right. So the bands have different colors, right? Some of us are wearing pink. Some of us are wearing aqua. Some of us are wearing gold. So I want the pink ladies to stand up for a second. Thank you. Do me the honor. Just stand up for a quick second. Thank you. Awesome. So I want everybody to look at these ladies right now wearing these pink bands. And I need you to know something about them. These are women who took the step to start their careers in STEM. Everybody knows that the hardest thing to do is get something started. And these women took that bold step. Can we give them a round of applause? These are our early career in STEM women. Thank you so much. You can be seated. All right. And those who are wearing the aqua bands, where are we? Aqua, anybody in the room? Ooh, awesome. Can you stand up as well? So I want us to take a look at these women. Now, these women did not just start. They did not just start, but they've actually stayed in their careers, and now they're at mid-career level. It takes resilience, so please celebrate resilience in them today. Awesome. You can be seated. And then finally, but not the least, we have the people with the gold bands. Do we have any ladies with gold bands in the room today? Awesome. Can you stand up? Let's recognize you. So the people with the gold, ooh, amazing. Can we really celebrate these women? Because they didn't just start, they didn't just stay, but they built and they've done something called building of legacy. It's not easy, so we celebrate you this morning. Welcome. You can have your seats. So before today ends, I want us to do something, because seeing that we're all in different levels right now, I want you to make a point to meet somebody in every single level. So now that you know their faces because they are wearing those colored bands, I want you to take note of their faces. And during lunch hour, you need to meet somebody, because for those that meet somebody, there's a little something for you. So meet a person in every single level, get their names, get what they do, and take a picture with them. Are we game? Who's going to do this? Just get their names, get what they do, and take a picture with them. Awesome. Now, I'm excited about this part, because I don't know if you know that none of us will be here today if not for the person that I'm about to talk about right now. There's somebody very special in our midst. She's very beautiful, very intelligent, career woman, and she did something so amazing. She brought us all together here today for CAWSTEMSummit. Want to welcome Mrs. Wamide Animashao. I think we can do better than that. We can do better than that. Welcome, Wamide. Yes.
Oh, to be short. Oh my goodness. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I think you all deserve a round of applause as well. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Wamide Animashao, and I'm just waiting on the slides to come up. And I will just be taking the opening remark to sort of share how we got here, what CAWSTEM is about, why we even exist in the first place. Okay, yeah, and like I said, you can, next slide please, this would be weird. So I'm Wamide, and I like to be called Wamide. I'm one of the co-founders at CAWSTEM. I have another co-founder who I'll be sharing about very shortly. At the core of everything that I do, I love to build. I love to help people, move from one level to another. And so I describe myself as a builder, as a catalyst, as a connector. I'm also a multi-potentialite. So basically, I do a lot of things. So I speak, I write, and I also am a career coach. I also have a 9-to-5, by the way. But beyond all that, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm an all-round queen. You're just not seeing my crown. And it's such an honor to be here, right? To share how CAWSTEM started or what we're doing. It would be impossible to talk about CAWSTEM without talking about me. Next slide, please. Without talking about my journey and how I got here. So many people ask me why CAWSTEM, how CAWSTEM, what did you even want to do, why did you even start it? So today I'm going to be sharing CAWSTEM's origin story as never told before. So you're all in for a ride. Like I said, it will be impossible to tell the story without walking through my journey. And so I'll take you back to when I first started my career. Next slide. So this is me, my first job in tech. This was in 2014. And I was a front-end developer at this time, but I was the only girl in a team of 8. And these are my colleagues, right? As you can see, they're giving me the accolades that I deserve. Right? Fun fact, that picture was actually my last day at that job, and that was just some sort of going away, send forth thing for me. And that's me again. That was my second job in tech. And again, I had, go back, please. Please go back. Please go back again. Thank you. Again, in this job, I held a couple of different roles, from IT audit to tech consulting. And here there was about 22% female representation. A little better than where I was coming from. I was the only girl in my first job. That was about 12.5%. And in this one, 22%, not bad. There were about 6 women in the entire team. And on the next slide, I put some of my old colleagues. This was at entry level, there were 4 of us. And then the previous one, sorry. At entry level, there were 4 of us, right? And there were a lot of other guys. Now, it wasn't that I didn't know what I was getting into. I studied computer engineering. So I was very much used to being the minority in the room. But for some reason, I really did think that once I got into the real world, once I started working, once I left school, it was going to be different, because school is just school and outside is different. But to my surprise, this was what I was faced with. And what this did to me was question why, how, if I deserved to be in this space. And so not long after, I moved on to go for my MBA. And in business school, because I was away from where I was before, because I was away from my typical environment, it made me start thinking, start asking, and start wondering what exactly is happening. And in doing this, I came across a certain stat that women made up only 23% of STEM professionals. right? Women made up only 23% of STEM professionals. This was a while back. I don't know if it's any different from then. But essentially, out of those 23%, only 20 of them, only 20% of them were actually in leadership. So remember that my career, at the time I was the only girl, at another time I was at entry level, and the next woman and the next woman, there was just one in mid-level and another one in senior level. And so the sparse representation of women in leadership really started to stand out to me. And I started to think about what to do about it. If we break it down a little, think about it this way. If there's 100 of us in this room, it means that 23 people alone are women. And out of those 23, only about 4 are in leadership. What that does is sometimes people's voices are left out and you're not able to carry everybody along. Whether or not it's a woman who's had a baby, or a woman who's having difficulty with PCOS or whatever, this is something a man would never be able to relate with. And so when you don't have representation at different levels, it means that certain decisions are made excluding a certain group of people. And so I wondered and continued to wonder. And after a while, I decided to do something about it, right? At this time, next slide, please. At this time, I reached out to a friend of mine, Temilade, who is actually our other co-founder. Next slide, please. So Temilade is someone I had met. We went to uni together, but we weren't particularly close in uni. And while I was thinking about how to solve or what to do about this so-called problem, trust me, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about the amazing women that I had gone to school with, the women that had thrived in class with me, the women that had stood out, the women that we had walked the streets of Covenant University together. And I thought, I know a few of them who are doing amazing, so why can't we build a network to just connect with other people? But first, is this an only me problem? And Temi was the only, sort of engineer in my circle at the time, so I'd reached out to her and asked, hey, are you facing this? Is this a problem for you? And she had the same story. In fact, Temi is a 2 times engineering graduate. She has a bachelor's in engineering, chemical engineering, and a master's in chemical engineering. And she was facing the same thing, feeling like the minority in the room. Well, 10 years later, she's gone through her own journey. She's transitioned and gone through construction, oil and gas, and she's now a COO at a tech startup in Canada. Next slide, please. And so, not long after our first conversation in 2017, we decided to come up with a name, Connecting African Women in STEM. At the core of it, we wanted to bring together women to be inspired, to get support, and to get connected. We thought about our own experience and understood almost immediately that just getting educated was not enough. You needed to have a supportive community, a place to go, a place to share, a place to learn, and also people to look up to. In my very first job, I felt like I didn't deserve to be in that space because there was nobody like me. It wasn't only after I left and realized it was an issue that I had to tell myself to stop running away from this problem and instead decided to do something about it. So our multifaceted approach is really to inspire, to help you get support, and to also help you get connected. Next slide, please. And this is a picture of our first website. So we started out with, just trying to do all sorts of things. There's something that they say, if you're not ashamed of the first version of something that you launch. So this is our first website. I built it. Somehow my computer engineering skills didn't go to waste. I built it, and we were saying a lot of things because we were doing a lot of research at the time and really trying to use research to back all the facts and the things that we were experiencing. At the time, we were writing a lot of articles as well, from technical to non-technical, and we were just really trying to put the word out there and let people know, hey, there are women in STEM. Next slide. Also, this is our first Spotlight campaign. We said, hey, how can we inspire people if they don't know that people like them exist? So we decided to go on this journey of finding tons of women in STEM some of our old volunteers are here and they remember how crazy that period was. But the first Spotlight campaign, we found 120 women in STEM across Africa. So from Kenya to Nigeria to Zambia. These were countries we had never even heard or even been in. And we did find women. Women are amazing. So I want you to take a time to just give yourselves a round of applause again because you're amazing. Next slide, please. And this is our first set of core volunteers. These women are so dear to my heart because even when it was just a dream, when we didn't exactly have structure or anything, they gave their time, their energy, their passion. And we met a couple of times to, rehash things. Next slide. And our first event, we held one in 2019. We had like this intimate event of less than 50 women in a room talking about the highs and lows and really sharing experiences with each other. And that was such an enriching point for us because at this point, we really started to see and realize that, hey, there's something here, and we wanted to go all out to make it work. Next slide. And so in 2020, we launched our community on Telegram. Beyond sending newsletters or putting things on social media or sharing and telling people, we wanted a place for people to be able to come, network, and interact with one another. And so we launched our community on Telegram. We would host workshops, we will host all sorts of events as well to ask questions, to share, to help people learn, and just help people get better. Next slide. And so as the journey has evolved, so has our vision and mission. Not much has changed, but it's gotten a lot clearer. They say clarity comes in doing, and indeed, this is what has happened to us at CAWSTEM. At the core of it, we're a non-profit. We're on a mission to close the gender gap in STEM. With your help, we can do that. And by 2030, we actually envision impacting and reaching over 100,000 women and placing a good number of them, at least 10%, into STEM jobs. Because it's not enough for you to learn. It's enough for you to go back into the field and apply that. So if you're going to be one of the 10%, let me see. And next slide, please. And our goal is primarily to empower African STEM women to thrive in STEM careers through content, capacity building, mentorship, and community. Like I said, a lot of the things that we do now has evolved over the years, and we're so glad to be at this point where we're clear about exactly how we're helping African women to stay and lead in STEM. And so my work here is simple. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. My work here is simple. While we've made some impact so far, we still have a lot of work to do, and we can't do it by ourselves or alone. We've reached over 12,000 women. We've had all sorts of mentorship cohorts, 2 already so far. We have an amazing network of mentors and mentees. We've hosted a couple of events already, and we have amazing partners and sponsors that have also come with us on this journey. So can we take some time to just appreciate the partners and sponsors who make our mission possible? And then, of course, to the volunteers who give us of their time, their energy, their resources. Please, a very, very big round of applause. Many of the things that we do today, we wouldn't be able to do them without everyone who's been part of this. Next slide, please. And like I said, the journey is there's still a lot to do. Women still represent 25% of STEM students. And for a gender that makes up half of the population, the stats are still a little weird. In 2020, Tech About did a research where they found out that out of all the students that they had surveyed, only 25% of them were women. But they went a step further and asked them a question. Are you going to continue in this career for the next 5 to 10 years? And only half of them see themselves in STEM careers. Now that's startling. And it's not through any fault of their own. Sometimes you can't tell who or what you can be if you've never seen an example before. Sometimes you can't tell if you can actually achieve your dream if you don't know how to. And so that's what CAWSTEM is really here for, to show you the way, to help you chart your path, and to give you the knowledge and the skills and the tools to go from one level to the other. Next slide. Our 1-year plan is very simple. In the next 1 year, we're hosting events like this, including smaller mixers, where we can come together in smaller groups and really share and get knowledge or even get inspired or get mentorship, we're also going to be launching an accountability group in the community. On your tags and the badges that you're wearing, you would see the Join the Tribe scan. So if you haven't joined the tribe, I'm going to encourage you to please do that, because that's how you'll keep in touch with everything that we're doing. And then early next year, we're going to be kicking off the third cohort of our mentorship program that's targeted for STEM women within 0 to 2 years of experience. At the core of it all, we don't just want to host events and get people inspired. Inspiration is not enough, but we're going to give you the tools, the resources, the ability to actually do what you need to do to go from 0 to 100 and to go from point A to point B. And so with that, next slide please, I'm going to encourage you all to please join the tribe, join the CAWSTEM community, share with your friends, and if you know anyone who's trying, thinking, wondering, figuring out their career path, we'll be here and we'll be more than glad to help them. Thank you all again for being here.
Please, let's not stop clapping till she's seated. Thank you. Isn't that so amazing? I think we can all acknowledge that CAWSTEM is something great, and Wamide and Temilade are both building something so amazing with CAWSTEM. So another round of applause, please. Thank you. Like she mentioned already, the QR code is still on the screen, and then the tags you're wearing around your neck also has a QR code for you to scan and join the tribe. There are benefits to joining the tribe. There's a newsletter that you receive weekly, and I can tell you because I'm part of the tribe. I've subscribed to the mailing list and I've read the newsletters. It is always such an informative piece. So you can join that, and then there will as well be mentorship opportunities highlighted in the tribe. But you can't know about it except you join the... Can I hear it louder? Join the... Awesome. So do scan and join the tribe. And now we're going to watch our video that was done by the mentors, our impact video. So please just listen and watch. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sheyi. I'm a data analytics professional and a 2-time CAWSTEM mentor. I have found mentoring at CAWSTEM to be highly impactful. I've met young women, ambitious, who are aspiring to be top voices in their career, who are aspiring to build a name for themselves in their career, and who have made up their minds to represent excellence in their STEM fields. I also appreciate the structure that CAWSTEM provides to these people, to the mentees, and even to the mentors. Just giving them the adequate support and the network that they desire and they need to be able to get to their goal as, a top voice in their STEM career. One of the most rewarding things for me has been watching these women come in as novices, not knowing what to do, not knowing what steps to take, and then leaving the mentorship program with a clear sense of direction. I have mentored 4 women so far, and it's been such a beautiful sight, delight for me, and a rewarding experience for me watching them grow, knowing where they started from.
My name is Mobolanle Atobatele. I'm a tri-sector specialist operating across power, agriculture, and sustainable transportation. I've mentored twice with CAWSTEM. The first was last year. I had 2 data scientists that were my mentees from Nigeria. And then this year I had an engineer from Rwanda, and then the second person was from South Africa. Absolutely fantastic experiences, both sides, really, really impactful. It's made me more intentional about pouring into the next generation. It's made me a better person. Even right now, I am now even articulating and putting together a formalized framework that I intend to begin to work with senior executive leaders on, just being intentional about mentoring their interns, their associates, their subordinates. So I am so grateful to CAWSTEM for the opportunity, and I look forward to the next streams. And I wish you a successful summit this year. It can only get better. Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause to our mentors?
My name is Mobolanle.
So there was something one of our mentors said, Sheyi. She mentioned how mentees had left the mentoring program with a clear sense of direction. I think that's something we can all say that we really need when it comes to career. So that's another cue for you to join the, awesome. So do scan the QR codes on your screen. Yes, it's still on the screen, or on the tags around your neck, and join the tribe. And now it is with great pleasure that I introduce to us for today our keynote speaker. Yes, a round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you, women. Passionate about improving societal welfare and empowering individuals to fulfill their potential, Folusho Gbadamosi is a co-founder and trustee of Serving with Love Foundation. She is dedicated to helping individuals discover and maximize their potential, which led her to become a Gallup-certified strengths coach, an author, and a facilitator. Currently serving on the board of directors of Swift Networks, Cusant Technologies, Intense Digital, and the advisory board of Africa Agility, Folusho brings a wealth of experience in guiding organizations towards sustainable growth and innovation. Folusho holds a bachelor's degree in computer science from the University of Pittsburgh and a master's degree in management information systems from George Washington University. Additionally, she is a member of the International Coaching Federation, the Forbes Coaching Council, wow, a John Maxwell certified team member, and she has received certifications from prestigious institutions, including the Yale CEO College, wow, IE Business School, and the Massachusetts Institution of Technology. I think at this point, we really need to give a standing ovation to our keynote speaker as she comes to meet us. Welcome. Please keep clapping, keep clapping. Welcome. There's a mic there.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Can we all please be seated? Thank you so much for that lovely standing ovation. And thank you to our awesome MC. Can we clap for her? Is she not giving us energy this morning? Well done. Very good job. Okay, so thank you so much for having me. Wamide, well done. I mean, I was just so proud, to sit in the audience and hear how you and your co-founder started CAWSTEM, because I love it when people solve problems, like all of us complain about so many things, but it's always amazing to see people that actually solve the problems that they are passionate about. So please, can we give her and her co-founder a round of applause? Okay, sorry, my voice is a little bit scratchy because I think I have a bit of a cold. I promise I don't have COVID, so please don't stay too far away from me. Okay, so I'm going to be running through a few slides. I'm giving a keynote speech, but we tech geeky people, we have to have slides. We need to have that content to back up what we're saying. So I'm going to be going through my slides. Unfortunately, I don't have an electronic clicker, but I have a physical clicker. Clap for her. My physical clicker is going to be clicking for me. So if I just say next slide, please don't worry not, she shall click away. Okay, can we go to my next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my story. Sorry, can somebody please be my timekeeper? When I have 5 minutes left, I beg you to let me know because I like to talk. Okay, thank you. Thank you, able timekeeper. Okay, so I'm going to share my story very quickly, and then I'm going to launch into what Wamide wants me to talk about, which is really more about you finding and leveraging your strengths. So my STEM journey began, well, obviously it began before university, but then I'll be taking you way, way, way back in my life. And I graduated like 100 million years ago. As far as I'm concerned, my computer science degree is extinct. It's so extinct. I graduated in 2002. Do you understand? Is that a computer science degree again? I don't know. But anyway, they paid for it. I got it. I'm proud of myself. So I got a bachelor's of computer science from the University of Pittsburgh. Shortly after, I got an internship. So my very first work in STEM was actually at a pharmaceutical company, and I was coding. I was coding JavaScript things and all of that cool stuff. Next, so you have to clicker. Let's flow in the spirit. So you have to keep clicking because, so I did a lot of animation because I thought I would have a clicker because I like animation, but so just help me, thank you. Now, when I graduated from university, my first full-time job was then testing databases, filling in the databases, creating manuals and all of those kinds of things. So in those days, I was doing core tech work. Now, what I discovered about myself at my very first full-time job, which was in 2003. So from 2002 till about 2005, about 3 years, is that even though I had this degree in computer science and, I was using it at my job, every day I was always drained, So even if I didn't do a lot of work, I would just feel drained. The best part of my day was when I went for lunch with my colleagues. Yeah. And you know what I discovered? Because I'm an extrovert. How many of us are extroverts in the room? How many extroverts? Yeah. When you are working in a career that you are only looking at your laptop and you are testing and you're filling things in and you're an extrovert, it is going to drain the living daylights out of you. I don't care how good you are at your job, you're just going to be every day like, oh my God, did a truck run over me? Because you're an extrovert and you need human interaction. And so whenever I went to lunch with my colleagues, I'll just notice that after lunch, I'm buzzing, I'm just, so happy and I have all of this energy. And so as I continued in my career, I discovered that, since you like people so much and you're such an extrovert, why not do something that is more people-facing within technology? So I proceeded, next slide, please, next click. Let me say more. Is it click slide? Next click. Thank you. I then proceeded to get a master's in management information systems because, that is more people-related from the George Washington University, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I was solving problems for people using technology. So, thank you. So this is the last click for now. Now, I'm going to run you through my career journey up until today, which is 2024. So I then got a job at Procter & Gamble, which some of you might know, and I was still doing tech work, but I was doing tech work solving problems for people within the organization, right, and also outside of the organization. That I loved as well. Fast forward, I then joined a telecoms company, and I was still doing tech work, but I was getting higher in management, right? So at this point, I'm still doing a little bit of technology, but I'm managing people as well. And then I went into insurance, and then oil and gas, and then development sector, and here I am today. So I have obviously been through pretty much every sector that, I guess is like a substantial sector. But the point I want to make to all of you women in the room, because many of you are early career STEM women, is don't let anybody put you in a box. Right? You need to make sure that you are intentional about your life and understanding who you are, what your passions are, and letting that drive you as you build your career. Next slide, please. Okay, so now I'm going to, next, see, plenty animation, no need for the animation, just, extra. Anyway, so I have now developed lots and lots of expertise, obviously, over my 20-year career that has led me a bunch of these things, board appointments, speaking engagements, and so on and so forth. The reason why I thought it was important to put this here is because I feel like for many of us women, we feel like we want to do several things. But if you're not careful, depending on who is mentoring you, who you are looking up to, and where you work, you might feel like, oh, I should just focus on my 9 to 5. If you're like Wamide, who obviously has a whole bunch of things that she's doing as well, you will do more. And so I want to encourage all of you here, as you grow in your career, to pay attention to the things that give you joy. The things that are your passion, outside of whatever it is that you studied, outside of your 9 to 5, pay attention to those things because people are watching. So when I was in university, Google did not exist. Yes, that's how ancient I am. And it's amazing to me how much now people can sell themselves and get roles and opportunities just by posting on LinkedIn. That didn't exist when I was in school. So you are so fortunate and so blessed. I've gotten board appointments from posts on LinkedIn. I've gotten opportunities from things that I'm like, wow, this did not exist before. So ladies, don't let anybody put you in a what? In a box. Thank you. Next, please. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the core parts of my presentation today, and I really want you to pay attention. So like I was saying earlier, obviously, throughout my career, I discovered myself more and more. The beautiful thing about working is that you learn yourself, right? You learn what you like, what you don't like, and hopefully, if you are blessed, you can then get to the things that you like. Not just if you are blessed, if you're also intentional. You can then build up to the things that you do like and the things that give you energy and make you shine. So you need to know what your personality type is. Very, very, very important. Your gifts and your talents. So many of you have studied STEM courses, but you have gifts and talents outside of that, right? So don't think, oh yeah, so I have a degree in whatever it is that your degree is in, and that's it. There's so much more. What energizes you and what drains you? I'll talk about all of that more as we go along. They've now given me Wamide's slides because they just like Wamide so much, they said I should have her slides. Okay, I'm going to keep talking from my phone because I think I have my slides here. And hopefully, okay, it's back up. Next slide, please. Thank you. Now, I really like these two quotes. One is by Socrates and one is by Shakespeare. And they're pretty much saying the exact same thing. Socrates says, to know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. while Shakespeare says, to thy own self be true. It doesn't say to your neighbor's self be true, to your mommy, your daddy, your husband, if you're married, your children, your professor, the people that you love the most. No. To yourself be true. It's very important that you are true to yourself and discovering who you are. Next slide, please. So I'm going to start by asking you a few questions very quickly. Okay, so just remember animation, so just click. Just click away. Thank you. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and I want you guys to listen and raise your hands if it is you. Some of you in this room, tell me if you are somebody who can be described as talkative, outgoing, and you like to work in a fast-paced environment, you love to work with others, and you like to think out loud. Raise your hand. Let me just put my whole body up. Okay. All right. Those are us extroverts in the room, right? The introverts are just wondering what is wrong with them. If you can be described as reserved, you like to just take your time, you like to contemplate and think things through, you like to observe more than talk. Let's see your hands up. Oh yes, those are our introverted sisters. Let's clap for them. Okay, so that's one. The next set of questions I'm going to ask you is how you like to take in information. Are you the kind of person that likes to pay attention to facts and details? As in, you like to just get the facts and the details. You don't want guesswork. You like practical application of things. You like to describe things in a very specific and literal way and focus on the reality of how things currently are. Let's see your hands up. Okay, those are the sensing people. If you are you are a big vision person, you're a dreamer, you like ideas and concepts, you like to describe things, in very figurative. In fact, there's one lady here, her hand went up so fast. Let's see your hands up, if that is you. Okay, there's a few of you in the room. Okay, I'm going to ask you just one more, and then we'll move on. How do you prefer to live your outer life? Are you the kind of person that you think that rules and deadlines should be respected, or you think that they are a suggestion? For you those of you that think that rules and deadlines are just a suggestion, they should not be respected. Let's see your hand up. Don't be ashamed. Be proud. You're not really big on rules and deadlines. I like the honesty. You like to improvise and make things up as you go. You're very, very flexible. Anything happens, you are able to just, those are my people, yes. You're able to just, now you're the kind of person, you are the opposite of that. You like rules and deadlines to be respected. You like detailed step-by-step instructions. And you like to make plans. You don't like surprises. Flexibility and you are not friends. Okay. Let's see your hands up. Now, can you see that all of us in this room are women in STEM? Yes, we're also different, right? This is to show you that, guys, every career is not for everybody. I know that we all want to make money. Even me, as I am like this, the other day I was calculating how many years it's going to take for my children to start university. And I had to have a conversation with myself about how I need to make more money. We all want to make money, right? But then we don't make money at the expense of important things. So all of us cannot work in the exact same career because there are some careers that are better tuned for certain types of personalities. So you need to understand yourself. And some of these questions that I've asked you hopefully would guide you in that. Next slide, please. Now, there's an assessment that I would love for all of you to take. It's on 16personalities.com. That is the website, 16personalities.com, 16. So don't spell out 16. Just 16personalities.com. If you've never ever taken it before, please take it. It's a fantastic assessment to show you your personality type. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to give you a report, right, that tells you how you are, how your general behavior is. Some of it, when you read it, just be honest. Is you. Some of you, as you are reading it, you'll be like, how did they just articulate my behavior so well? It's okay. They did. Okay, accept it. And it's good because it also talks about careers, right? So it gives you an idea of your personality type and the type of careers that you should be in. Now, when I speak about careers, remember that in this STEM field, there are so many different things that you can do. So it doesn't mean that you should leave your career in STEM, please. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying it would help you understand yourself better and the kind of work that you would thrive in better, okay? Thank you. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. So I'm now going to go into the next section where I spoke about talents. Remember, I first of all said you need to understand your personality. Now you need to know what your talents are. Now, many of us, when we were growing up, especially if you grew up in the times that I grew up in the 80s, talents were very limited. I mean, talents were like obvious. You can act, you can sing, you are an athlete, all these things that are very, 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 very obvious, right? And so many people felt like they didn't have any talents because their talents were not obvious. However, talents are not just those things that you can see. In fact, talents, according to Gallup, are a naturally recurring pattern of thought, feeling, or behavior that can be productively applied. And some examples of this are those of you in this room who are very good at just starting conversations. How many of you in this room, it doesn't matter if there's a human being, you can talk to the wall? Be honest, be honest, be honest. Hey, those are my brethren. Can talk to anybody anywhere. It doesn't even matter. In fact, sometimes you wonder, like, what? Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's just how we are, right? And then some of you think in an orderly or timely manner. How many of you here have color-coded things? Like your closets, maybe like your clothes, like you put things together, skirts are together, trousers are together, kind of. Confess, don't be shy. How many of you have to-do lists and you have to tick it off. And when you're ticking it off, and you're like, hey, I'm ticking off, I've achieved. Some of you are like that. How many of you know that you are very good at convincing others to do things? Yeah? That is also a talent. Lovely. Seeing patterns in data. Some of you are very good at seeing patterns in data. Some of you are just very positive. You always have a positive outlook on life. Yeah? Okay, those are my brethren as well. Thriving under pressure. That is also a talent. Making people laugh. So you see, these are, why? You think you can, but others don't think you can. It's okay. We will vote after. We're going to have you come and do something for, and then we'll vote so that we're sure today. But the point I'm trying to make is that talents are beyond those things that you can see, right? And you need to determine what your talents are. One thing I realized throughout my career is that while, you might have a great boss, you might have great HR and all of that, you are the one that has responsibility for your life. Do you understand? Your HR person and your boss are working with the organization to help you thrive within the organization. But sometimes some of the things that they might be seeing might not necessarily be for you, depending on where you are in that season of your life. So while other people around you might be helping you, you have to take ownership of your life. Nobody is going to own your life and your career for you. All right? So please be very, very intentional. Next slide, please. Okay, now, when we take those our talents, all of those examples that we gave, and much more that many of you have in this room, and you begin to be intentional about investing in it, so you are using it. Let's say you are working in a job where you are using those talents every day and all of that. It then becomes a strength. And this is why sometimes you will see that maybe there's 3 or 4 people working in the same role. They're all very smart. They all had great grades. But some people just seem to be doing better than others. The people that are doing better than the others might just be more within their talent zone than the others. Now, if you are more intentional about your career from today and you start paying attention to your talents and how you are executing, you would actually execute better. Okay? But it takes you kind of paying attention and, like I said, being intentional. Next slide, please. If I say African female author, what's the first name that comes to your mind? There's no way I ask this question. This is always the answer. Why is this always my mother's name? Is she the first? Is she the oldest African female author? Because guess what? She's working in her strengths. She has so perfected her art that I don't care where you are. If you ask anybody, African female author, the first name that comes to mind is Chimamanda. That is somebody that is working in her strengths. And look at how much time it took her. I mean, if you've ever heard her story, she'll tell you about how she had so many rejected manuscripts. People were not interested in her stories. But she's perfected the art of storytelling, of writing her book, and she's in her own niche. She has her own special niche. My daughter loves to read her books. I personally am not really interested, but she loves them, and she's read I'm sorry. You and my daughter should get together. My daughter has read Purple Hibiscus no less than 50 times. I can't even read it once. I tried. It didn't work for me. But that's the point, is that she has a niche. She has a niche audience, and those that love her, love her. And even I that don't read her books, I respect her. And I know that she is in that area and she has perfected it. So what I'm trying to say here is that no matter what area you are in, you need to be working towards perfecting it. If you are a data analyst, you are a coder, whatever it is that you're doing, if you want to stick within that, you need to be working better and better, harder and harder to perfect that. Okay, now, back to Chimamanda. Sorry, Auntie is not happy with me. She's like, can you say you have don't enjoy Purple Hibiscus? I tried to read it. Is there anybody? Sorry, I have to deviate, my daughter has so many of them. Me too. Lovely. That's so nice. Is there anybody else here? So you know what it is? So you know what the truth is? And this goes back to our talents. And I've seen it live because I have children and I can just see the innate differences in all of us. I'm not a book reader. Do you understand? I'm not. Anybody else here not a book reader as well? People on my, yes. I have started to read books because I do Audible sometimes, but I read as a skill, not as a love. Do you understand? My daughter, and probably you, read as love. You just love it. You know, you love to read. You are reading books and it gives you energy. I don't read books and get energy. But now, if you give me a personal development book, do you get? I like personal development books. I don't, all this fiction. Why am I reading anybody's fiction? I don't care about your fictional story. Do you get? But then this just shows how different we all are. And that's the point I'm trying to make is that, listen, ladies, I was going to say, okay, we have a few gentlemen. Let's also call them. Ladies and gentlemen, be true to who you are. Reading must be done, right? So I have two daughters. Let me just quickly segue. One loves to read. She's always reading. When she's bored, she reads. When she's happy, she reads. When she's gisting, she reads. She's always reading. My other daughter likes to go outside, play. She likes to experiment. She likes to do things with her hands. She likes to draw. But we've told her that, sister, we know that you don't really like to read, but reading is important. So you have to develop reading as a skill. You don't have to love it, but you have to do it. And I think that's the thing, is that there are many things in life that are not your talents. They're not within your personality. But while you're trying to develop a skill, you still have to do those things, okay? So that was actually a good one. Thank you for giving me that side eye. It gave me a good story to tell. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. So while we're on this journey, right, towards, just trying to become our best selves and getting to the area of our strengths, we really go through this process, right? So we're discovering who we are. That's when you're figuring out what your personality is, what your talents are, and all of that. And then you begin to deploy it. You are using it and all of that. You are developing it. You are getting it better. And then you dominate. That's when you are like on that Chimamanda level that we were talking about, where everybody now knows you for those things. Next slide, please. And this could also be everybody in the company knows you. Something else I've noticed is that you might have a job that says that you're an engineer, right? But in your company, you are more known for something else, right? That is not a bad thing. That is a great thing, and you need to leverage it. Because what they are paying you to do is what you are doing as engineering. The other things that they might, please do the engineering work well. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But those other things that they know you for are those things that will probably get you promoted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, at work, getting a promotion is beyond you doing what they have hired you to do. So when you notice that you are maybe you are very empathetic, right? Maybe you are the person that people just connect with and want to kind of come and, complain about HR and complain about everybody, and you always seem to be able to help them solve their problems. That is not a bad thing. So don't say, I'm an engineer, I'm not supposed to be like that. Please, all those other things about yourself that would make you stand out, make sure you're paying attention to them as well. Okay, so I have 10 reflection questions on the screen, but I'm pretty sure that I don't have the time to go through them. So I'd like for you to just take a picture of it and just take the time out whenever you can and just reflect on these questions. These questions help you as you are building your career to think about yourself on a larger scale. What kind of activities make you feel the most energized every day and engaged? Like those things that when you are doing them, whether it's at work or home or wherever, you are just always so energized when you do them. You are constantly engaged. And when was the last time that you lost track of doing one of those things, right? What do you do effortlessly? Those things that people are always asking you to do for them. You've just found that ever since you were young, people are constantly asking you to do this type of thing for them. What are those things? What topics are you most passionate about? And how do they align with the things that you love and with the work that you are doing today? All right, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to go through all of them because I will not have enough time. But I would really love for you to reflect on these questions and really pay attention to what your responses are. Next slide, please. Okay, so people always ask me, they're like, okay, fine. So I know what my talents are, or I have an idea of what they are, my strengths. What about my weaknesses and things like that? So I really want to touch on that. Thank you. Now, next, so just quickly just let everything come out. Thank you. No, back. Sorry, just what, yes, perfect here. So these things are not your strengths, right? What are those things that you always dread doing? I mean every now and then, as in whenever they ask you to do it, you are filled with dread. The things that you constantly put off, you're always putting them tomorrow on your to-do list. The things that don't get easier, no matter how many times you do them, it just does not get easier. Those things that make you anxious, as in anxiety washes over you. And those things that make you feel inadequate. Next slide, please. Now, I'm going to tell you about energizers and drainers and how you need to kind of manage them, right? So you need to learn to manage your energy because life is life, right? We can't always do just the things that we love, and we can't always just do the things that give us energy. Just let them all come out, please. Thank you. So I would like for you to make a list of the things that you do, right, on a daily basis. Today is Saturday, so it might not be maybe the best day to do it, but maybe you want to do it on like a Monday or like a Sunday evening. Make a list of all the things that you do, and next to them, put E next to the things that give you energy and D next to the things that drain you. If you have more things that drain you than give you energy, that is not a good thing. You should have more things within your day that you're doing that give you energy. And what you can also do is, when you need to do things that drain you, do some things that give you energy, and then do the things that drain you so that you have the energy to do them. If you remember, I was talking about my very first job and how I used to get drained just staying at the computer. But anytime I would hang out with my colleagues, because I'm an extrovert, I would get some energy. That energy I got helped me go back and get my job done. All right, so you kind of need to learn how to manage yourself. This is very important, and I'm going to tell you why. So, like they said earlier, I'm a certified strengths coach. One of my coaching clients actually ended up in the hospital. He ended up sick because his job was draining him so much, and he didn't realize it, that it was actually affecting his health. Because the things that don't give you energy are taking something away from you, right? And before you know it, God forbid, it begins to affect your health. So you really have to pay attention to what energizes you and what drains you. Next slide, please. Okay. And so back to this topic about weaknesses. Remember that, listen, all of us have a lot of potential inside of us. We have a lot of talents. Instead of fixating on what you don't have, especially us women, you just be thinking about, I don't have that. Focus on the one that you have, because the ones that you have not even finished scratching the surface with them. So why will you now be fixating on the ones that you don't have? We have so much within us, so pay attention to what those things are. And remember that you have a lot of untapped potential. Don't waste your energy trying to figure out, oh, how do I get better, or turn a weakness into a strength. You can't turn a weakness into a strength. You can manage a weakness. Do you understand? That's why we are all so different. So something that you are weak in, somebody else is strong in, and so on and so forth, right? But you need to learn how to manage weaknesses. You cannot turn a weakness into a strength. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is my second to last slide. Just let it all come up. So I have 4 keys for you, just to kind of take away with you as you proceed on this amazing journey of building what I believe will be a wonderful career. Number 1 is you need to discover who you are. Like I've been saying that ever since. You need to strengthen your strengths. What are your talents? Strengthen those things. Focus on maximizing what you already have as gifts instead of trying to be who you are not. Second of all is ownership. Like I said earlier, you have to own your life, right? Nobody's going to own your life for you. You need to have some sort of a vision. Now, once again, all of us are different, because even when we were answering the personality question, some people are more here and now than future dreaming, right? You don't have to have a vision for 20 years, 10 years. You can have a vision for the next year, for the next month. The point is that you need to have a plan as you are building a career, because you don't want your career to be driving you. You want to drive it, right? You don't want to just end up anywhere. You want to be able to drive what it is that you are doing. Next of all is people, and this is why you are here today. You already have a great community here. You need friends, mentors, support. So join the, what did they say earlier? Join the. You're going to share your MC money with me. Number 4, personal development. What do you need to get to your destination, right? So all those things that you need, regardless of what STEM field you are in, and even if you're not in a STEM field, you need to research, for the next level of this, my field that I'm in, I need to do this training, I need to do that training, and you need to start planning to get it done. I know sometimes we don't have enough money to do all the things that we want to do, but you can plan, right? But never ever forget that your personal development is actually for you. Do not depend on HR. See, I've been working, I know it might not look like it, but I've been working for over 20 years. Do not depend on your HR to plan all your trainings for you. If you're always waiting for human resources, you will not maximize your potential, because human resources is giving you trainings in line with what the company's goals and objectives are. There'll be some things that you have as personal goals and objectives that the company might not want to fund. So you should get into the habit of creating a fund or putting aside some money to do some trainings for yourself as well. Next slide, please. Invest in yourself, extremely important. And so this is my last slide, which is just another quote that I like. I clearly really like quotes. I don't like reading, but I like quotes. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so the key to success is to fully understand how to apply your greatest talents and strengths in your everyday life. And this cuts across every sector. it cuts across every field, it cuts across every gender, every age. You need to learn how to apply your own greatest talents and strengths in your everyday life. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
MSMEs are the lifeblood.
Thank you so much, ma. I think
you
you guys need to see my notes. I've been writing and writing, and I just want to say that I'm just very happy to know that I'm a very talented person. How many of you here today realize how talented you are? Because did you know that arranging your clothes in the wardrobe was a talent? I didn't know, but now I'm aware. Like taking off my to-do list. I used to think I was just very
I basically
extra.
started.
Do you understand? But can you tell yourself I'm a talented person? I need you to ask your neighbor, what's your talent? You need to know, find out. No, don't laugh about it. You need to say it. I'm very talented. That's amazing. That's amazing.
She called me
And
up and she was like, "Oh, I'm starting a drinks business," and I was like, "Good for you."
When she was asking us
like,
about our
"Yeah, you're running
personalities,
it."
if you were not sure, you were not sure. And I mean, that's fine. She told us about a website we can go to, 16personalities.com. Did we take note of that? But just in case you just want to concentrate right now, you're just very focused in life, you don't want to go on the internet, so you don't go to WhatsApp or Instagram, that's fine. You can join because it's going to be sent to you in a newsletter. Everybody say the tribe is where it is at.
I would say was
The tribe is where it's
when
happening.
We're not making sales for a couple of
That's
months.
amazing. I think it's wonderful how a career in STEM led her to being on boards. And she said some of it came through LinkedIn posts. That is incredible. She's on the Forbes Coaching Council from a career in STEM. So I want us to do something right now. I don't know how many of us know the word abracadabra.
A lot of time.
Okay, so do you know what it means? Do you know that it actually means to create with your words? That's literally what you didn't know. Please clap for me. I just clap. I'm very talented. Like random information is becoming wisdom right now. So we're going to do something right now because we're all in careers in STEM and we're here for a reason. We want to make some changes. We're going to start with our words. We're going to start with our words. So I want us to say something. Opportunities exist for me.
So we have like
and I will not be put in a box. I want you to say it one more time, and when you say it this time, mean it to yourself. That opportunities exist for me, and I will not be put in a box. Because I just want you ladies to know that if you can be on board appointments and things from STEM, let nobody tell you that there's nothing for you in STEM. Please put your hands together for CAWSTEM Summit. Out here changing lives. And we want to thank our headline sponsor, who is also a reason that this event is happening today, Money Point. And can we put our hands together? And there's a short video that we're going to play from Money Point. Please watch.
You kept going. And that's something else that we know about you.
That you are someone who never gives up.
Even when the odds are against you.
That's why we're going to be there for you, even more than we ever have.
By providing you with 3 months worth of inventory restock.
2 months worth of sewing materials. Oh my God.
Let me call her.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Baba.
Dewal.
You guys will not understand what I'm going through, but I really thank God.
So I'm with Money Point, and they just gave the business 1 month's worth of for logistics for movement.
How much?
Access to enterprise customers. We hope this makes you. Oh my God, it's making me smile. So my teeth. Thank you. Start every day, you get free stuff. Thank you.
God bless you.
It seems like everybody doesn't even understand how hard stuff is out there, and this has been so much to me. So much.
For businesses across Nigeria, we have just one promise. We are always going to be here to make you happy.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm grateful. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy World MSME Day.
MSMEs are the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy. Millions of people depend on them every day for food, daily necessities, and sustenance. But who's looking out for them? How would you say like your mom started the business?
I basically started it.
I run a fashion brand called Tinu Taylor. I started Tinu Taylor 2020 during pandemic.
I was privileged to travel abroad, and I saw how people were using long lenses, and I asked what exactly they were shooting.
She called me up and she was like, oh, I'm starting a drinks business. And I was like, okay, good for you. And she was like, yeah, you're running it. And I was like,
I bought my first camera there.
My name is Mommy Shimmerin. I sell plantain and other provisions.
It's not really easy to explain to Nigerian tailors, this is how long I want my dress, or this is how I want my design. So I wanted to make clothes for myself. And then I felt I could do it as a business, so yeah.
our lowest moment in business, I would say, was when we were not making sales for a couple of months.
I did like a ready-to-wear collection in 2020 and I got only 2 customers. Very funny.
Man, 6 bunch you buy before like 10,000, but now it's like 30-something thousand, which I can't afford.
And if you don't sell, you can't buy in drinks business.
A lot of time when we meet clients or when we meet people, they always say, oh, I did not know about what you offer, how you offer it and all. So we just need more awareness, a bigger version of it.
I think I need an investor or maybe someone who understands business much better.
That plantain is really affecting me. As I'm not selling the plantain, I'm not really happy.
Logistics is one thing. When you're selling drinks, people want you to bring the stuff to their doorstep. So we have like a minivan, but we're getting bigger than the size, so we always have to like go twice, go a couple of times, different distances.
And apart from the plantain I sell, I do some other housework to help myself. But each time I see my daughter, I think doing business is very good.
We have a letter that we'd love you to read to like other business owners.
Dear business owners,
we know how hard it gets.
We know it's no longer as easy as it used to be.
We know about the many times you thought about quitting, but you didn't.
Did you?
You kept going.
And that's something else that we know about you.
that you are someone who never gives up.
Even when...
Money Point, exceptional. Went from being just a company you heard about to one you experienced every day.
I just used my Money Point card to pay.
Service occurring.
Using Money Point has been pure bliss.
Money Point, exceptional. Went from being just a company you heard about to one you experienced every day.
You can do that. And what's so amazing
I just
is
used
we're
my
about
Money
to
Point
talk
card
about
to
starting
pay.
right now.
Service occurring.
We're about to go into a panel
Using Money
session.
Point has been
Ready?
pure bliss.
What's going on? Are we tired already? Do we need to stand up and shake our bodies? It's time for a panel. And this panel session, the first one, is about breaking into STEM, starting and pivoting careers. So we have our amazing speakers in the room for this panel. Let's put our hands together for them before we hear their names. So this panel is about kickstarting your career with courage, the power to get started. For you to even take the first step, you probably don't know what to do, where to begin, who to call. This panel is for you. It's also going to help us to build essential skills. What do we need to get to, just like in our keynote address, Felicia told us about what do you need to get started. We're about to equip you with that. And then as well, to overcome barriers. How do you overcome those bottlenecks you find on the road as you're going? Who's ready for this panel? Wow, I expect it. Who is ready for this panel? Awesome. All right, let me introduce to us our moderator for this panel. Her name is Esther Opone. Esther Opone, aka the Value Adder, is invested in adding value to the lives and spaces around her. She's currently doing that through health technology, research, and civic engagement. She's a product manager at Mediverse AI, which is a suite of health facility management software, helping hospitals, laboratories, pharmacies to cut costs, grow revenue, reduce staff burnout, and improve patient care. This is through end-to-end management of their processes. Through this, she leverages her background in biomedical science and digital health to improve the health outcomes of people and communities, while boosting the sustainability and efficiency of healthcare professionals and facilities at different levels, and advocating for diversity, inclusion, and interoperability in the field. She's an alumni of the Commonwealth Women's Mentorship Program, McKinsey Forward Africa Program, Carrington Leadership Lab, Tech for Dev Women Techstars. You guys, we have amazing women in our midst. Tech for Dev Women Techstars, UK Nigeria Tech Hub, Aspire Institute, which was founded at Harvard University, and CAWSTEM, Connecting African Women in STEM. She's a lover of valuable conversations. That's her talent. Esther hosts the Value Cafe podcast, holding laid-back conversations around growth, impact, and hacking this humaning experience. She loves books. Hi, Esther. Good, clean music, surfing the net, and appreciating all forms of art and creativity. Can we put our hands together as we welcome Esther, our moderator for the panel session? You can do better. We can put our hands together better. Welcome, Esther. She's going to be guiding our conversation. And today, in conversation with Esther, will be our 4 speakers. Please allow me to introduce them to us. We have Chisom Nwoku. Yes, you can do that better. Thank you. Chisom Nwoku is a renowned software engineer specializing in big data, designing and developing scalable data platforms for teams. Her expertise cuts across leveraging big data technologies to develop reliable data systems. She has worked with companies like Microsoft and Bank of America. As a woman in tech, she's passionate about helping others. Chisom is an author of a popular book titled A Techie's Guide into Big Tech Companies, which is currently helping people land engineering roles at international tech firms. Beyond her engineering career, Chisom runs a growing YouTube channel where she shares insights on tech career-related topics and her life as a software engineer. She believes in rising by lifting others. Chisom is keen on supporting individuals in the tech ecosystem, dedicating her social media channel to posting tech job opportunities and being a person of value and inspiration. Her relatable approach has made her a sought-after speaker, which is why we have her today, for tech and career conversations, having spoken at over 100 plus events. When she isn't doing anything technical, she loves doing 2 amazing things: trying out new recipes in the kitchen and playing the violin. Talk about a talented woman. Please welcome Chisom Nwoku. And thank you so much for welcoming our guests with applauses. Don't let your hands get tired. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome. We're glad to have you. All right, I'm going to introduce our next speaker on this panel session, and she is Temilade Adelakun. Temilade, thank you very much. Temilade Adelakun is a dynamic professional with a multifaceted career spanning product marketing, product management, and program management. She is currently a product marketer at Google in sub-Saharan Africa. Temilade leads strategic initiatives encompassing branding, positioning, and growth marketing for various Google customer and Android products across the region. Temilade's academic journey boasts prestigious accolades, including recognition as a Future Female Leader Awardee by IESE Business School in 2023, and alumni status from the Harvard Business School Crossroads Emerging Leaders Program in 2020. Holding a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering with first-class honors from the University of Ibadan, she is also a distinguished member of the founding class of the Nigeria University of Technology and Management, NUTM. Beyond her professional endeavors, Temilade is deeply committed to driving positive change in the tech industry and society at large. She's a passionate advocate for more girls in STEM, women and youth inclusion, accessibility, digital literacy, and sustainability, actively engaging with communities and delivering impactful awareness programs in collaboration with STEM organizations. With a visionary outlook, Temilade's mission extends to empowering individuals with digital skills, fostering entrepreneurship, and advancing technology development to catalyze socio-economic growth across the continent. Outside of her career pursuits, Temilade finds fulfillment in volunteer work and meaningful interactions, embodying a commitment to making a lasting, positive impact on society. Please welcome Temilade Adelakun. You're welcome. We're very glad to have you today. All right, we have another speaker today, and her name is Tobi Adeuja. Can we put our hands together? She's already on her way here. I love her. She has so much energy. She's ready to go. So as she comes up, let me read her profile. Tobi Adeuja is a seasoned hydro engineer with extensive experience in geotechnical and hydrological engineering, particularly within the mining sector. With a strong background in chemical and environmental engineering, Tobi has played a pivotal role in the design and construction of critical mining infrastructure, including pit walls, waste dumps, and tailing store facilities. Her work ensures the long-term economic sustainability of mining operations. Currently serving at the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency and having a rich educational background from Sheban Sprague Grammar School, I hope I got that right, and Covenant University, Tobi's expertise extends to the development and implementation of comprehensive support systems for mining operations. She is well versed in conducting field investments, monitoring programs, data acquisition, modeling and interpretation, as well as preparing detailed technical reports. Tobi's diverse skill set includes hydrolysis, GIS, CAD, geotechnical engineering, strategic planning, and data analysis. She is also proficient in leadership, online marketing, writing, negotiation, and business development, which makes her a versatile professional capable of driving success in various domains. Once again, a round of applause for Tobi Adeuja. Thank you. And our last speaker, but not the least definitely, is Omolola Omolambe. Thank you. Omolola currently leads an engineering team at MoneyPoint MFB. Shout out to our headline sponsor. Thank you. In her time in MoneyPoint, she has applied her extensive engineering experience in developing, managing, and maintaining both customer-centric and business-focused solutions. She played a vital role in the development of the customer and business applications for MoneyPoint before moving to lead the POS channel distribution engineering team. Omolola has a strong background as an engineer. She was instrumental in building an ERP solution in her previous organization, where she contributed significantly to both the front-end and back-end development of the solution that is still used till this day. Currently, in her role as enterprise architect at MoneyPoint, Omolola leads the POS channel distribution team, a critical part of the company's customer acquisition strategy. The POS channel distribution team plays a pivotal role in MoneyPoint's distribution first approach to customer acquisition. She ensures that the architecture and processes are scalable and aligned with MoneyPoint's growth aspirations. She holds a bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering and is deeply committed to creating and fostering an inclusive team that encourages more women to not just excel, but thrive in the technology space. This is reflected in her team's composition and the initiatives she has taken on and is a part of. Once again, can we put our hands together for Omolola Omolambe? So thank you to all our speakers and our moderator for panel 1 session, and I will hand over to you now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Can we give her a round of applause as she leaves? Thank you. Right. Good morning, everybody. Gives me great pleasure to be here. I know we hear that a lot. I'm honored and I'm opportuned and all of those things, but really, as someone who has been a beneficiary of CAWSTEM's, investment, I really am honored and happy to be anchoring this conversation because I've been a starter, I've been a pivotal transitioner within at least two STEM fields, and so I can easily remember some of the confusion and lack of clarity and fears and all of those things that usually come with going through this. And I mean, from the profiles of us panelists, we can already see that we really have the best hands and mouths to tackle this topic. So give a round of applause to welcome them once again. All right, so just before I start asking very specific questions, I would really like to set the tone. Usually people have this point in their lives where they decide, okay, at this point I really want to move, I want to transition and all that. So I think I'll probably start from there, Temilade. At what point in your life, oh, it's not working. Okay, so same question to everyone really. But could you share like one very pivotal moment in your life where you made that decision that, yes, I'm going to either start or pivot in my STEM career?
Okay, thank you, Esther. And once again, I'm so excited to be here. I have a very long story, but I'll try to shorten it so that because I want to give other panelists the opportunity to speak. Mine started from when I was much younger. My siblings, my parents, my uncles and aunts will say, hey, Temilade, you make a very pretty nurse. You're so beautiful. Those are the kind of comments I got when I was much younger. And due to like lack of exposure, in my head, I just want to be a nurse or a doctor because they say I'll make a pretty nurse and a pretty doctor. But regardless, I went to like science classes science school rather, because my strength was in the sciences. Fortunately, unfortunately, my first JAMB as then I failed. I applied medicine and surgery at Obafemi Awolowo University. By the way, there's nothing wrong with medicine and surgery, and it's also a STEM course, by the way. But back to what Mrs. Felusha said, that's not my strength. I just wanted to study medicine and surgery because I think every smart girl studies medicine and surgery. So I remember I have to go back to take like my JAMB lessons. There is this teacher, he is a male teacher that just took so much interest in my life that this girl loves physics and the math, who is telling her to go study medicine and surgery. I remember one beautiful morning, he called me to his office and he's like, what do you want to study? I'm like, I mean, all of us want me to be a doctor, so I'm going to be a doctor. And all of us, like, really all of us. And then he's like, have you considered computer science? I'm like, God forbid. I'm being very honest with you. God forbid. I will not be the only girl in the class. Me that I'm already cut out a tomboy. I will not be a real tomboy. Those are the things I was telling him, actually. And he didn't laugh. He was just looking at me. And that was the end of the conversation. And I got back home. My father said there's family meeting. I was even scared. What have I done? Then they said, what do you want to study? I'm like, I thought we all said I would be a doctor. Like, we all agreed. So why are you asking me, what do I want to study? And then he told me to go back to the uncle the next. I'll be very fast with my story. So I went back to him. I didn't have access to a phone as at then. He gave me his phone, mentioned some names, told me to read about those women. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. There are women actually doing these things and they are thriving. But that was the first turning point for me from moving to like wanting to study like medicine to doing like engineering. By the way, he didn't choose my course for me. Fun fact, he told me to read all about the different engineering. I'm like, civil engineering, I don't like to draw. petroleum engineering, petrol can go soon. No, I'm not doing electrical engineering. They used to cost for NEPA. I'm not doing electrical engineering. Then I chose mechanical engineering because when I Google searched it, it wrote father of all engineering. I'm like, this father, that's what I'm going to do. Then I chose it myself, and by God's grace, finished the first class. But again, along that line, this is another pivot, and I'll end there. I have so many pivots, but I'll just mention this last one. I enjoyed engineering school, to be fair, but schooling was actually very theoretical and practical. One of my own strengths is if something is not practical, I can't relate to it. I remember I said, okay, I would make sure my penultimate year internship is that turning point to decide if I still want to continue mechanical engineering or pivot into tech. I did my internship at Shlombi GSLB. It's an amazing company, by the way. But from my second month, I was bored. I was very bored. It wasn't me. Yes, they earn big money, like they have big cars, but it wasn't me. Like Mrs. Felicia said, I'm a people person. I want to connect with people, not just be in the rig for days. Nobody can, my parents can't call me, my siblings can't call me. I'm like, I love this job, I love money, but no, this is not me. I remember my mother would call and say, she'll say it in Yoruba, make sure you do a good job so they retain. I said, God forbid, they won't retain me here. And then she was always wondering what was wrong with me. I'm like, Mom, I get it's a good company, but it's not my thing. Like, I'm bored, I'm tired. In my third month, I took a bold step, went to meet we call it base manager. Sir, do you mind if I do PA for the next 3 months and just sit with you? Let's join those meetings. Let me hear how you strike deals with Chevron, Shell, and that was what I used the last 3 months of my internship to. I will stop here because my story is a lot of pivots, but again, I will stop here. I think one thing I would say is, like she said, to yourself be true, and also questioning your own curiosity, why you do the things you do and why you love the things you love. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm super happy to be here. I've known Temilade for like 3 years, but I've never heard this story before. So I'll definitely reach out to her to continue. So my name is Chisom, thank you for having me here. How I started. So my story is very traditional. It's not like hers, like, oh, I switched from maybe entertainment to tech. No, mine is very traditional. I studied computer science, and I remember always visiting my dad's office when I was little, and he had like a desktop in his office, and I always play with that. So I always remember the time, like it was a very hot afternoon at home, and someone came in with boxes, and they were setting up like something on the desk. I was like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's a desktop. So they were setting up like the printer, the CPU, the monitor, and I would literally sleep on that table. Just using the computer, using Paint, Mavis Beacon, how many of us here? Mavis Beacon and all of that. And so I remember my mom telling me, your eyes, oh, you're still small, don't spoil your eyes, because I would literally stay all night, like just printing things, designing things. And I think that was where the passion actually started. I love typing, I love creating stuff and all of that. So moving forward to moving forward to secondary school, I would always be the one they would pick for like ICT competitions in Abuja, go and build this, go and build that. So that fire was already there, and I'm glad that I had opportunities where I could spark that fire. So moving forward to uni, I went to University of Nigeria. It was a no-brainer. What I studied in computer science, second choice, I don't know, put computer science there. So I did computer science, and it was in my first year uni that I realized I didn't like math. And if you study computer science, you know that math is like a no-brainer. You really have to do math. So I struggled with maths a lot. And even my first programming course in uni, I failed it. I got like, I think 29. It was really bad. And so I started questioning. I'm like, oh, this is something I really liked doing when I was little. Why am I not like good at it? Why am I failing? Is this field actually for me? Did I just rush into it thinking that, oh, this is the career path? So in uni, I just started learning. My dad enrolled me for like an internship at Aptech. How many of us know Aptech? NIT, the band. So I did like a Java programming course at Aptech, and when I was done, I had like enough experience to start programming proper. So in school, we have like an innovation hub. It was called Rora Hub, because UNN, Lion, Rora Hub. So I would go to that hub, and I'll see guys like doing stuff on their laptop. But I didn't really see any girl. I don't think I saw a girl. So I always felt like I didn't belong in that space because they were doing IT-related stuff. And I'm like, I don't see any girl here. Doesn't mean... I automatically counted myself out of that, space, because there were only guys there. They were always with their laptops. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm a web developer. Oh, what's web development all about? They're like, oh, you're building websites that you can, see and interact with. So I remember going back to my hostel room, opening Codecademy. How many of us know Codecademy? I opened Codecademy, started a course on HTML, CSS. But I didn't really like it. It wasn't really interesting for me. For me, it was boring. And so I went back to that hub weeks later, and I saw someone that was doing something really different. He was doing like mobile development. So if a mobile developer, you know that you have like an emulator on your screen where you're seeing like the kind of apps that you're building. So I was like, oh, this is different. This is what I think I want to do. So he sent me like an Udacity Nano degree link. I signed up for that, and I just started learning, and it was fun. At some point, because I always remember, calling him, telling him, oh, this thing is hard, I don't think I can do this again. I would literally be crying on the phone. And it's like, it was like that for me. Just keep pushing, just keep learning. And so fast forward to about 8 months later after learning, I was tired of watching tutorials. I was tired of, learning how to build on YouTube. When you're in tutorial hall, you keep watching tutorials over and over again. So I was tired of that. And I said, oh, Chisom, you really need to build something of your own that will give you more confidence in this skill that you have started learning. And so I decided to build my first app. And the goal of that app was to launch it on Play Store. And if you're a mobile developer in the room, you know that launching an app on Play Store is not it's not that easy. And so I started building the app. I worked on the UI, the back end, in fact, everything from A to Z. And I launched the app. I went on social media to shout, "Oh, I've launched the app on Play Store. People should download," and all of that. So I think I didn't pivot in an actual sense. I just, I had that spark right from when I was little, and I just grew that spark and, launching the application, looking for jobs. My first actual job was at Bank of America, and it was an internship. And after that, my second job was, Microsoft. So I think we'll get into the story
Definitely.
when we're moving forward.
Right. Do you have, okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Can you hear me? No, it's not working. Okay. So I will start with this quote, "Man, know thyself." From very little, I'm a very curious child. I will ask you, what's this? Why is this thing working? Why is this happening? Why is this? So I'm a very curious person. Anybody that knows me from this, Toby's always asking questions, So in primary school, I loved maths. I loved maths. I loved biology. I loved physics. I loved chemistry. Now turning point was when I was in secondary school. I think I had to visit the clinic, and I met Temilade, Adeoye. And I asked her, "Temi, what are you studying? I just want to know." And she told me chemical engineering. I love maths. I love chemistry. And I was like, you know what, that program, I'm going to do it. When I started chemical engineering, I don't know if there's anybody in this room that started chemical engineering. It's such a challenging but rewarding course because you learn everything. Everything. Is it polymer engineering? Is it water? Is it environmental? You are stretched, but you are learning, In my final year, I was like, we were giving electives. Which one do you want to choose? Some people chose polymer, some people chose tissue. There are different things. I decided to do environmental engineering. When I wanted to do my master's in the US, I thought, I'm going to do environmental engineering. I had two professors. There was one professor that introduced us to water engineering. It was such a, who knows what's hydro? Who knows? It was something abstract, And I loved it. And as I said, I'm a very curious child. If I'm sitting with you, I've analyzed, I'm a very curious person. At Cleveland State University, there were so many opportunities in as that you could go to a hall, you could hear lecturers talk, and you could just sit in and just, listen to the symposiums and talks, and that's what I would do. All the people, what's this girl doing? I would just sneak in, I would just sit down, it's lunch and learn. At least they'll give us burgers and stuff, and I'll just I'm a very curious child. If you go back to Cleveland, Toby's always sneaking, she's always somewhere, and that's how I am. When I have a challenge, apart from Googling, I ask people, I've read about you, so basically, so you have to, as I said, man, know thyself. Some people are great salesmen. Once you are talking to this lady, man, this girl is about to sell me. It's the truth. Some people are great marketers. There's no need for envy. Everybody has a specific talent. specific talents, you know. So there's no need to look at, oh, this guy is doing better. She's not doing better than you. Look at yourself. What am I good at? Some people are great they can produce movies. So what am I saying? Man, know thyself. Thank you.
Hello. So, Omolola here. Mine is somewhat similar to Chisom's own. I studied electrical engineering in school. And in electrical engineering, in your second year, you get to do a computer engineering elective. At that time, it was C++. So at that time, I don't think I even understood what it was. All I did was, I just need to pass this course. That was all it was for me. I didn't even like it. At that time, I think the only time we ever actually did practical C++ was the exam. So all our classes where you're writing code on paper, you can't even see what you're doing. So it was so abstract for me, I did not like it. But in my fourth year, during my COS program, we had this report. During COS, you work at a company for 6 months. That's what that is. There was this report we had to generate every day. And we all would wake up early. You have to finish it before 12. And it took a long time. But there was somebody that would come to work late, and he would finish it before all of us. So it was very surprising to me because I just knew that there was no way. Either he was staying awake at home, doing it for a com. Then I went to meet him, and he showed me that he wrote a Python script to do this thing every day for him. So it became our secret. Just both of us knew, and we would just do that every day. So I think that was the point where it felt like magic to me, but it felt so convenient for me because I didn't have to stress to do this to myself. And that was the moment where I thought that, okay, maybe I should start this thing and learn it. And that was how I started my career.
Wow. Thank you all for sharing your stories. I feel like I see bits and pieces of myself in every of this, right? Like her, my mom was a nurse, and then I was good in school. I went to a science-only school and all that, and it was always like, normal now, you do medicine and surgery, right? And all of those things. But for some reason, I was also very curious, and I also had a bit of a contrarian spirit. So I was like, I don't want to. So it was either become a doctor or become a nurse like your mom. And I was like, I didn't want to do anything because they expected me to do it. But I also wanted to do research. I also wanted to do this and that. So I was like, I was going to put in for pharmacy because I had seen someone who was one very tush-looking lady with a big afro hair, and she was a pharmacist where my mom worked on a gender clinic UI. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. In fact, I fought my brother because he wanted to also do pharmacy. And my mom was like, all of you can do everything you want to do, right? And all that. Funny enough, he's actually very engrossed in it now. And I'm actually out of the field. Funny story. Then I ended up doing biomedical science. Again, it was out of curiosity. It was not even on the JAM form. But then I read about it. So my mom wrote a letter, went to submit to the dean, and they said, okay, we add it to the letters of people that want to enter the department, okay? And all of that. So I did, and I started. Then I started learning about tech, this and that, and in fact, Code Academy, W3 schools. I slept on those sites. I was right. I was even simulating on my phone then, HTML, CSS, this and that, blah, 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 and all. But then I realized I get bored easily. I love engaging with people. I'm very curious, and I love challenging myself. So I wanted to do something that would allow me to do all of these things. A bit of a generalist, so to speak. So somehow I found myself in product management today, right? So now I get to talk to the developers, I get to talk to the customers, I get to do a bit of marketing, a bit of knowing a bit about everything. And I think one quote I lived by, and I still live by is, know something about everything and know everything about something. Yeah. So this was a role that was perfect. I get to do stuff in healthcare, so I can leverage my background. And also then apply, know something about everything, and then know everything about something. So in between, of course, has been a lot of journeying and transitioning and all that. And that brings me to my next point and question, which is, and that also loops back to what some of you have referenced, that you had people in your lives that kind of maybe held your hands, or maybe asked you questions or challenged some ideas or things that you already had. So I would loosely call them mentors, right? How have you been enabled, maybe you can give a specific example, seeing the impact of mentors in your life, whether you're starting, continuing what you already wanted to do, or pivoting. And most importantly, choosing the right ones. I know there are some that they come into our lives, we didn't choose them, but at this point, especially for people who are taking these intentional steps, choosing the right ones that are very relevant to our own unique journeys. So I think I'll start from here again.
Thank you. Again, I'll try to be very fast, but this is a very good question because it helps me continue my journey. I want to give a basic understanding of mentorship and also like correct something. To be honest, reflecting on my life so far, to some extent, I have gained a lot from folks that are my peers. I mean, I have people who I look up to, but I also want to just emphasize the fact that even our peers have a lot of value to give to us. Let's not be too fixed on, I want to meet Felicia, I must collect Felicia's number today. I want to meet Temilade, those things are good. I mean, if someone like her is very busy, I know there are like 1,000 people wanting to collect her number, but why not leverage even like people that you consider like colleagues? And also there are a lot of valuable things to get from them. Now, let me go straight to my point. My pivot started from wanting to do medicine to doing engineering, finishing first class engineering, pivoting to tech. But I remember I finished school during the pandemic, and everybody was excited. My friends, first class engineering, they told all their friends, everybody was calling, Kilo could buy PhD. And then, I was just looking at them that, this one I finished, let me rest, let me catch my breath. It's not like, I believe that whatever is worth doing well. To be honest, I struggled in between engineering school. I won't say it was all smooth. I love math, I love physics, but it was more like, I'm already in this thing. I started with a good CGPA, why not just end it? I talk to people a lot. I think curiosity is also one of my strengths. I remember in my second year, I called one of like a senior friend who has graduated saying, I'm like, if you had to go back to school, what would you do differently? And that's one question that question. If you are speaking with someone senior, ask them, if you had to go back in your early career, that question, and you will hear tips that will help you. So he said something that he really wish he wasn't just like focused on finishing with the first class. Like now that he's in the outside, we realize that first class is sometimes just not everywhere, sometimes just a certificate that opens the door. But there are other things that the job needs to get you the job itself and retain you. And it's like, expose yourself. Don't just be in Ibadan. Just be reading to finish it first. I'm like, thank you. So most weekend, you see me in Lagos, attending tech events and all of that. And that was what helped me have like other small degrees or experience outside of core engineering. When I finished, I remember speaking with another senior friend saying, everybody is happy for me, but I'm happy that I finished the first class, but I don't know what next to do. I have a good understanding of what I don't want to do, but I don't have I have a little bit of knowledge of what I think I want to do. Then I spoke with him. He said we should do SWOT analysis about my life. I say, SWOT analysis about my life. Just like she said, what are the things you enjoyed? In those reflection questions, very important, to be honest. If you didn't take pictures of them, I think you should get from someone. I did he gave me some set of reflection questions. I answered, and I said, you know what? I want a career at the intersection of business, tech, management, and data. That was, what is that career? I don't know. The way I see my life and career is, I don't see a career as a role. And I always tell people, tomorrow, if you see me doing Strat and Ops, because I'm doing product marketing today does not mean all the rest of my life. No, please. And because I'm doing Strat and Ops tomorrow does not mean I don't have focus. I do. I'm very much concerned about the skills I will get from that job than the title of the role itself. That's the way I see career. So how does mentorship come into place? After we've defined what we think are my strengths, he actually got me a course. Someone that we speak maybe once in like 3 years, got me a course on product management. It was a very good course. I did all of that. From there, I pivoted to like my first job as a programs manager. One thing to also mention there is, even though I wanted to be a product manager then I was very confident that's what I wanted to do. I applied for product management jobs. I wasn't getting them. But I didn't say because of that I wouldn't try something else. I tried programs management that had soft skills that were transferable to the product management I really want to do. One other key turning point I'll mention, pass to Chisom. At some point where I was working before Google, I'm very big on values. It was a good job, but I don't think the company had a great value system, and I wasn't able to wake up. I wake up in the morning and I'm struggling to go to work because I was not happy. I knew that I had to leave the job. So I told friends and loved ones, I'm looking for a new job. I'm still here, but I need to get out of here like ASAP. And randomly, I did so many applications, did a couple of interviews, some I didn't proceed to the next stage. Then randomly, I just got I was tired actually, I was burnt out, and then I was going through my Gmail. I said that somebody sent me a LinkedIn DM. I opened, she said she's a Google recruiter, blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I think she's scam. I thought she was scammers at them because I'm like, even ordinary, normal, they know, Google recruiter, like, how is that possible? And I didn't think there was anything fantastic about my LinkedIn profile, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I just opened it and I'm like, okay, somebody's about to scam me. I just closed. Then I was just with my elder assistant. She's like, okay, you have friends at Google. Why not just ask them if this person is real? Then I asked them, they said, yeah, she's real. She's one of the recruiters in Paris. I'm like, oh, that's good. Well, that's good. I think she finds me interesting, but the role she wants to pitch to me is product marketing. I don't think I am interested. I want product management. Gone. And then my friend was laughing. And then I'm like, I'm talking about my life here. Why are you laughing? He's like, Google is entering your DM. You're saying you want product management. And I'm like, that's interesting. He was like, then he explained to me and helped me see things much better. Why not? Apply for the job. Worst case, you don't get it. You learn what it means to apply to Google. But again, give it your best. You can get into the company as a product marketer and then find your way to product management. But what if you even end up loving this product marketing? Mm-hmm. But that's one part of horizontal mentorship that really helped me. I didn't have to go and meet a mommy Ibukwa, what you can say, like just my friends speaking with. I'm not saying those things are not important. I'm saying let's not fix our attention and I must speak with like a big person with like 30 years. Those things are important. I have a few of those in my life. But just randomly chatting with a friend, just horizontal mentor, like, calm down. Go for this thing. Let's see how we can support you. I know my friends sent me all their products marketing materials. I read. They helped me define how these are the skills I have. These are the skills required for the job. How can I connect the two together? And after 4 interviews, welcome to Google. I say, what? That was me speaking with my friends who helped me see. And again, have the right people in your... Very important, very, very important. Friends that will see value in you that even beyond what you are seeing in your own self and able to help you align some things. But those are like few pivotal mentorship moments I've had in my life, and they've mostly come from like peer mentorship. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So for you, Chisom, I'm going to lay out something with yours just to collapse because we're running out of time. No, don't worry, it's still in line. Okay. So you have a book. Yeah. You also do one-on-ones, masterclasses, and all that. So I want to layer that as well. So aside mentorships you have enjoyed on your journey, I want you to also maybe mention just in few sentences some of the things that mentoring others somewhat has also helped you, like maybe to project your own skills and all of those things, and how people in the room, especially those who are just starting, can be good peer mentors to other people and also showcase themselves out there,
Okay, so let me structure it from the first question moving forward to the one you asked.
Right.
Okay, so if you pivotal moment in my career where I've actually seen the value of mentorship is when I just got study Android development. There was this person on Twitter that he was always posting about Android development, and I went into his DM. I think I had like 500 followers that time. But I went into his DM and I was like, oh, I'm learning Android development. I sent him like a roadmap that I was using. And he told me, you don't need all these things if you're just learning. Like, why are you learning all these things? I myself, as an experienced Android developer, I don't even know all these things. But these are the things that I want you to learn, and these are the things that you should start learning when you're just starting. And I would have spent like 8 months, according to like the schedule. I think she was talking about like people that are so organized. So I drew like a schedule. Okay, I'll learn this, I'll learn abstraction, I'll learn this, that. And he was like, you can do this in 3 months and actually have like a shorter like span in order to like start applying for jobs. And he shortened that aspect for me, and that was something that was very it was very helpful because I didn't really need to learn everything. So that was one part. Mentorship helped me in my career. The second part was when I attended a call from women who code. I think they are not so active now. So on that call, they had 2 engineers from Google and from Facebook, which is now currently Meta. And one of the ladies there, she worked at, I think, Meta. She was working at Meta. And so I just heard her talking about how she was a student at Unilag and she got like a call from Meta, or she got like a recruiter reach out to her, like Temilade mentioned as well. And I said, oh, I'm in school. I want to work for like a company, but I want you to mentor me into working for this company that I want to work for. Because when I was little, I had like a desktop at home, and each time I opened that desktop, I would see like Windows Vista on the desktop, and I'll tell my mom, I want to work for Windows one day, I want to be an engineer at Windows, but I didn't really know that Windows was Microsoft. So I reached out to her and I told her that I would want to work for Microsoft at some point in my career, and you work at Meta, they are both big companies. Can you, give me like a head start? Because it's not something that might come now, but just in the future, I might need those tips. But fortunately enough, it came earlier than I expected. And so she said, okay, send me your CV, let me see what it looks like. And I was a student, I didn't really have experience. And she was like, I was a student too, I was like you, but you even have more experience than me. So I feel like you're ready to start applying for this type of job that you want. And that gave me like a huge push, because I wasn't really seeing myself as ready enough, because I usually tell my mom that, oh, Microsoft hires only senior engineers with 8 years of experience. And then there was me that just finished school. I didn't really have experience. So she gave me that push. I think I even reference her in my book. I talk about her in like any event that I go for. So she gave me that push. She gave me that assurance that I needed. She taught me the things to learn. She told me the kind of projects to build, how my LinkedIn profile should look like. So that was a very pivotal moment for me, because I could see her doing the things that I wanted to do, and it just gave me that assurance that it will definitely happen to me soon. So those are 2 points. So for the second point is for, one-on-one sessions that I do. And, I know this quote that they usually say in a cartoon, that you're guiding others to the treasure you haven't gotten, or you're guiding others to the treasure that you haven't received yet. And sometimes when I'm mentoring people, it's more like a reflective moment. You know this thing where you're advising someone to do something, but you yourself, you've not done it. So when you join my one-on-one sessions, I'll be like, you see the skill, you can learn it, you can get a job, you can get promoted. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, so why don't you tell yourself these things when you're like, on your own? So it gives me like a moment of reflection, and it also shows me like the certain skill gaps that I have, because in my role now, I'm majorly focused on big data, and usually when I'm guiding people, oh, how do you start a career in data engineering? And I'm like, okay, learn this. But some of those things, I haven't actually learned them, right? So it's like giving me a point to reflect on my own career and the things that, I'm actually missing. And peer-to-peer mentorship is actually very important. And I would say never look down on anybody. Never look down on the people that you're in a community with. Never look down on the people in your Slack channel, in your beginner level kind of thing, because you don't know where people are going to be. You don't know how people's journeys are designed, right? So you don't want to be looking down on people that you are learning with. You have a lot of things to learn. So if you have a friend, like Temilade mentioned, have friends that have the same vision as you, have friends that have the same goals as you. I had a WhatsApp group with my friends when I was just graduating from school, and everybody in that group wanted to land jobs at big tech companies. And now, we all did our internships at Bank of America. We all got jobs at Microsoft. We all got jobs at Google. We all got jobs at Facebook. So everybody on that group had a goal. And each conversation we had each day had a way of just uplifting you, right? So try to learn with people that have the same mindset as you. Don't learn with people that would, drag you down or discourage you from, opportunities. And never feel too small in a group. Never feel like, okay, me and this person are on the same level. I don't think I have anything to offer. As an individual, you learn differently. And what you learn perfectly, and you will notice that someone beside you can't even explain that thing as well as you. So you always want to make sure that you're pouring into your friendship groups, you're sharing knowledge as much as you can, and you don't have to be like officially a mentor before you teach. As long as you know something and you know it very well, you can share that knowledge with other people around you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I feel like you've already answered some of the questions that would have been a follow-up, which is very beautiful. Both of you, actually. So for you as well, I'm just going to continue this trend of looping some specifics, right? So you work in hydro engineering and all that. So I know it's a typically male-dominated field, and it's also not huge or famous as opposed to, some other roles that we and all that. So how has mentorship helped you all? Maybe even if you didn't enjoy that at the start, what kind of mentorship would you have loved to get, or would you want to pass on to other people now, as regards making your own name, having that confidence, and also thriving very well within your role in like a male-dominated and uncommon field?
Okay. So when you were asking this question, I was just laughing because I mean all the industries I've worked, apart from hydro, they've all been male dominated. When you talk about manufacturing, I worked in manufacturing. I think I was the only girl in the whole factory, you know. Then now I'm in mining, right? Yeah, I'm still the same. So the thing about it is that you need to ask questions. You need to, should I say, you need to be around those guys. Ask, be in their middle. What are you doing, you know? People will be like, no, I don't want to. Ask questions, read, you know. You need to be curious. I've worked in a place where I thought my boss was against me, but no, he was correcting me because later on I realized that I needed those corrections. And it has helped me not just in my work life, in my everyday life. So don't just look, if your boss is correcting you, and I know we are females, you're like, why is he, you know, don't do that. Don't burn bridges, that's another thing. Don't burn bridges. If you have a confrontation with someone, say it in a very respectful manner, you know. Ask questions. Go to your, if you know you are lacking behind, because most of us here are working or we are looking for work. Ask questions from your bosses. Sir, I don't know this. Teach me. Ask from your colleagues. We are just looking at bosses, you know. Ask from your colleagues. I don't know this. Explain to me. I don't know what industry you are in. I don't know where you have found yourself. But wherever you are, make sure you ask questions. Don't look down on yourself. You are confident. You are looking at my CV. If you asked me how I was 10 years ago, I was not confident. I will tell you that. If you asked me to speak, I will be shaking. If you have a communications problem, join Toastmasters. If you know where your HR has been telling you, you need to work on this part. You need to work on this part. You've been getting feedback from your boss. You need to work on this part. Work on it. Don't say, oh, they are just promoting this person. Because normally, I know those are the kind of conversations we've been having sometimes. If you have conversations one-on-one, if you happen to have conversations with your boss, ask them, where can I be better? I don't know. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Okay, I think, so for you, I'm going today as well, which is, thankfully, Money Point has a booth right outside. And so, first you would share a bit about how mentorship has helped you, and then assume the position of a mentor, and then talk to people about how, even if or when they leverage opportunities like graduate internships, apprenticeships, and all of those things, how best can they optimize that experience and to increase their chances of learning, of getting retained, and then thriving within that space?
Okay, for mentorship, I would say that I had a mix of peer and a senior one. When I first started out, because of my personality type, it was easier for me to talk to my friends that had started than to go text a random person that I did not know, because I didn't even know the right question to ask. And I think if you're going to text somebody you don't know, you need to come with the right question.
True.
So I did a lot of talking to my friends. I had a lot of friends that had gone further along, so it was very easy. Also, when I started, I had a lot of inconsistency because of school. I would drop it sometimes. It was easy to get motivation because I could see what other people were doing around me. So I just knew that, okay, I really want this, I should do this. Then for senior mentorship, luckily, I've never really had to look for that. I had just worked in companies where people wanted to mentor me, and I'm always grateful for that. My first job was an internship job. So I was assigned a mentor. And at that point, before the internship, I was learning Python, but I didn't know, okay, to what end, what did I want to become? It wasn't clear for me. But working in that organization, when you're doing internship, you have to, most times, it's tailored towards what you're using, so there is some clarity and direction. That was how I started off. So I just started off with C# and JavaScript, and it really helped me. Then even at Money Point too, we run a Women in Tech program, and I've had the opportunity to mentor two women in tech, and they have been written in my team. Some of the things I look out for is genuine. You have to have genuine interest in what you want. As much as I want something for you, you need to want it back for yourself, because I can only push you as much. So I have detailed roadmaps for people that come into my team. But if you just keep, okay, we have one-on-one meetings, we sync, and you just keep coming up with excuses, there's no way I'm going to keep you my team, because I just need to see that determination. Also, one thing I would say is visibility. Even I always tell people I mentor, even like don't only ask for feedback from me. You should same thing. Don't put yourself. I'm not the only expert here. We have a general channel. You can post things you've done. Also, that builds visibility for you, because other people now know that, oh, there's this person in this team that is working on this, and this would build visibility for you. Also, as I said, you don't necessarily always, as Timothy said, you don't necessarily always have to go look for like the CTO of a company to mentor you. Like, it's a big ask, because the person is probably so busy. Sometimes people are around you, or people are around you, or maybe if you're working in an organization, your manager can be your mentor, where you get more feedback from the person. Also, mentorship doesn't have to be static. The person that mentors you at the stage where you're a junior developer might not necessarily be fit to move you to the next stage if you're going to mid-level. So you always have to recognize, okay, what stage am I at right now, and who are the best people that can help me. Also, mentorship should be two-way, where it's not only about you gaining knowledge. Sometimes try to contribute to the person. Many times, because I mentor junior level, some things I subconsciously forget, because I just don't. It's not part of my day-to-day. But if I'm talking to you, most times, if you have challenges, then I need to go back to that concept that I have moved on from. That way you are helping me remember things that I have forgotten. So that's what I would say about mentorship.
Sorry, can I add something?
All right.
Yeah, so another point that I forgot to mention was also leveraging indirect mentorship, because that's what I have also, leveraged, and it has helped me. So if you have people in the industry that you know that you cannot reach, like you know that you can't go into their DM to speak to or get their phone number, try to look for resources that they have. Try to look for books that they've written, YouTube channels that they have, events that they've spoken. Attend the events that they are speaking at, right? Because most of the time, you might not necessarily have the capacity to reach these people, or know someone that knows someone that knows these people. But because they have made themselves available on social media, they've built a certain kind of visibility. You can attend different events for free. You can buy their books. You can listen to their podcasts. You can listen to them on YouTube. So different ways that you can actually gain value from this person without necessarily having to, have that person in your DM.
All right, thank you so much. Right, and also a reminder that CAWSTEM has a very rich mentorship system in place, right? And all of that. So I'm going to move on to, and I would like for us to be as, brave, because we're running out of time. We have run out of time anyway. So for you, Temilade, I know that we've been talking a lot about moving, this and that, but I want to know, how did you deal with, those moments of uncertainties, FOMO? There are so many options in front of us, right? Especially these days, there's a lot of, go on Twitter, everybody's posting, I have a mentorship program, I have a scholarship program, learn any tech skill, open this Google Drive document to learn it, and there's a lot. So in between, you have too much information, you have to pick, you have to, and all that. So how do you then deal with all of that, pick the right, STEM career, and even if you are not sure, position yourself to be able to leverage whichever one would be able to come your way at that point. But most importantly, overcoming those uncertainties and fear, because those things can cripple you. At the end of the day, you have so many options, you end up not making any decision, right?
So whilst I was learning, I think for me, I started by understanding my own learning style, what worked for me, and what works for me might not work for Chisom. Even career-wise, like there are so many career options in STEM, but having to tailor it down to what are the ones that my strength can really flourish in, that brings the best of Temilade. I would also say that I always have to remind myself, and even when I speak with people, just yesterday, while I was doing my laundry, someone has been trying to speak with me, and I felt really bad. She finished from my school, my department, a lady, first class as well. I'm like, okay, Temilade, you know what? While your clothes is spinning, pick your call and call her. And she started by saying, you motivate me. I said, thank you, my dear, but let me tell you, I don't have my life figured out. So I always try to remind people that I don't have my life figured out. And also just to let her know that it's fine not to know now. You might not know the right answer now, but in the doing you become over time, every step you take, there's like some form of clarity. Yeah. So I think I also just want to even remind us that not everyone has their life figured out. Even the people that post, hey, I just got this. When I got my Google job, I mean, I'm someone that typically, I take time to process things. I'm not that kind of person that something happens to me now and then I'm posting even before I resume. I'm not that kind of person. But I want to say, even when I got my job 6 months into resuming, I was a little bit depressed. I'm not joking. Not depressed. Depressed is a deep word. No, I was just like sad. And I took, they actually had a chat with Wamide to understand what's going through my mind. I mean, I was excited to join Google the 6 months and I'm looking like, I need to just buy. But my point is, nobody has their life figured out. Always remind yourself that. Celebrate with people. When you see people win things, celebrate with them. Chisom post something, maybe a conference she attended, maybe she got into a program. Celebrate with her, chat with her. How can I get into that like next year? That's the way I see life, and that's the way I sort of like navigate my life. Not to digress from the core question, I think for me, I just see life as, I take things very easy. I sleep very well. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I have my 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And when you're programming, if you are still sleeping 6 to 8 hours, you're not serious. Please don't mind them more. High blood pressure is real. Sure. Choose what works for you. If yours is waking up very early in the morning, doing 2 hours of coding and you're fine, that's fine. If yours is maybe late in the night where everywhere is quiet, that's how you learn, that's fine. Yes, some people will come and say they've read 50 books in a year. That's fine. I think for me, the way I do my life is, if I'm reading a book, why am I reading it? By the time I'm done, that why must be very clear. Not that I'm just reading because I also want to post at the end of the year that I have read 50 books this year. So always every action you take, make sure, be very careful not to do it because it's fine to do something because she's doing it. Maybe based on your conversation with her, you understood why she's like, okay, I also need this in my life. That's fine. But I think for me, I do self-reflection. I actually speak with myself regularly, and I ask myself why I'm doing what I'm doing to avoid FOMO. And if you have to take social media breaks sometime, please take it. I mean, LinkedIn, people say LinkedIn can be toxic. It's not toxic to me, to be honest. I get motivations. I'm not joking. I like those good news. Right. I like to hear that someone got into Obama something. I like those good news. It works for me. Some people say it's toxic for them, and that's fine. We are different. If it's toxic, some days just zone out. Maybe do some inner reflection of your own self. And when you are ready, come back again. So don't let anybody pressure you. I feel like sometimes we are the one putting ourselves under pressure. People are posting because they are happy. We say visibility. That's why they are doing those things. So choose what works for you, your own learning style, your own career style. You are fine with sitting down with your laptop 24/7. Take that kind of career. At some point, I thought I wanted to be a machine learning engineer because the name sounded serious. Heavy. And I wanted to sound serious. But I'm like, this is after 3 months, I ran away. It's not for me. I'm just deceiving myself. Yes, I'll just stop there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask I've been signaled that my time is up, right? But one very important question I really don't want us to leave here before addressing is the issue of self-trust. And I'm going to address that to you. Okay. Because, a lot of times we are motivated, we are interested in a lot of things, and then we start courses, we take trainings, we go for mentorships and all, but then that consistency, goes out. And unfortunately, it also helps us to build a track record of not trusting our own selves. So other people can trust us, other people can believe in us, right? So how then do we overcome that, right? And then rebuild, as the case may be, the self-trust and confidence that we need to now say, okay, now I'm ready. This time around, my case will be different. And this new starting or pivoting journey, I'm going to take it seriously and all that. And look away from the previous mistakes and all, right?
Okay. First of all, I want to tell you that failure is normal. So I want you to just relax. Oh, my friend is CFO. My friend is CEO. Relax. Calm down. Calm down. What I'm telling you, I also tell myself, because pressure, wah. Some of us, we are feeding so many people. Calm down. Yes, you have family back in the village. Calm down. Calm down. Relax. Relax, relax. Relax. So, no matter the stage of your life, where you are, there are some things you can learn. There are some opportunities that are there. Leverage on them. That's all I can say. Don't look at everybody has what is going on in their lives. It's just that nobody will tell you. Look, you have your own name. My name is different from Esther's name. Everybody is on their own life's journey. Life is a journey. You don't know. Life is a journey. That's what I can say. So, first of all, man, know thyself. It's very important. Because you see some people trying to copy another person. At the end of the day, you know what happens to people that copy other people. Calm down. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey. Everybody has where life will meet them, So just calm down. Be happy for people. Don't be envious. I feel so. If I tell you sometimes I'll feel, I'll just cry. You know what? We'll continue tomorrow. That's what you need to do. Everybody, I've seen my contract ended before. And I did not die. And I'm sitting with you. This is someone that got their contract. And someone's like, I can't believe Toby can talk. I used to be in meetings, I would be shaking. I don't know if anybody can relate with me. I couldn't speak. Now you're hearing me speak. I wish we had videos. I will be stammering. I will be shaking. I almost want to die. So calm down. Everybody's journey is different. Then my final note, man, know thyself. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm really, really grateful for all of you sharing your insights and the room. I'm sure you enjoyed yourself, right? All right, thank you so much for having me as well. And so we are going to be handing on this now.
Let's put our hands together for our panel again. Before you leave, ladies, we can just take a picture together with Wabide. That was such an insightful session, right? Who learned a lot of things from that? I know that I did. And I think what's so amazing is the fact that in their stories, I think most of us would say we saw similarities with our own journeys, right? That's to let you know that whatever level they've gotten to or a level that you want to get to that you're not yet at, you should know that it's possible. Because the same way their story started, there's similar ways that your story started. So I want you to quickly tell the person sitting next to you one thing you took away from this session. Because repetition. What's going on? Did we not take away one thing? Oh my God, I was afraid already. I wanted to tell them to sit down, let's start again. Just tell them one thing. One thing. Our online audience wants you to also put in the comment section one thing you took away from this panel session. Just one thing. Have we told our neighbors one thing? Neighbor, did your neighbor get it right? Or did they just say something? Amazing. Let's put our hands together again for our panel session 1. And very quickly, we're also going to watch another video. And this video is by mentees. Now, we watched the video from mentors in CAWSTEM before. Now, we're going to be watching a video that was made by mentees, people who have benefited.
I'm Chineji Inizamechi by name. I'm a teacher transitioning into tech. CAWSTEM mentorship program was such a worthwhile and transformative journey for me. Yes, the mentorship sessions were quite an amazing and impactful one. my mentor Luashe was such a great support, like all around. Yes, so I remember one of those days I came for the mentorship session. So the week I wasn't able to learn as I ought because of the schedule was quite tight, and I was like, mom, I didn't learn much. And she was, it's okay. Yeah, that's it. And she went like this: it's the little drops that make a river. She said the whole idea of this thing is for you to learn to keep learning. Yes, just to have that lifestyle, and that has been it for me. All those after the program, I've just seen myself that I'm in for the next, I'm going for the next course, for the next learning, and it has just been amazing.
Hello everyone, my name is Adibayo Jumoke Sarah. I work in a bank, and also I was privileged to join CAWSTEM, a match program called 2, and also my mentor is, because I still call her my mentor, Han, so I won't say was, Han. And also, I appreciate the opportunity to learn directly from her. I would say she's a veteran. She's a veteran product manager, because every session, I always look forward to every session because of the opportunity she gives to me to ask questions, to get clarity on everything I've read on the material she shared with me. And also another thing I appreciate greatly is when she walked me through how to modify my CV. I'm always grateful that I did not miss out from this course. Another wonderful thing I also learned from this course is the human management, how to manage a team, also with my group members. And also I'm happy because we won in our presentation, also the ability to manage team members from different locations virtually. I learned a lot on how to gather people together, how to plan tasks, how to also add due date tasks, and how to also get people to do their job. I also learned a lot. Even from every of our sessions every Thursday, I learned about corporate women, how to settle well in a corporate place, how to stand out and how to work excellently, and how to be exceptional. Thank you very much, CAWSTEM, for this opportunity. I will never take it for granted.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie Amimo from Nairobi, Kenya, and I was in the first cohort of the CAWSTEM mentorship program. I am a microbiologist, and I was being mentored by Ms. Shea Bonde from Nigeria. Through this program, I was able to learn how to tailor my CV, how to ace interviews, how to improve my soft skills, and how to position myself for opportunities. I'm immensely grateful that I was part of this program because it built my confidence to be able to apply for programs and opportunities that I would have shied away from. I've experienced immense growth through this program, and as a bonus, I got to make a friend whom we still talk and share career insights up to date. So thank you, CAWSTEM, for the opportunity. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you to the women who offer themselves to mentor and coach the young ladies who are just starting out in their careers.
All right, I think it is so worthy of note. Please put your hands together. You're also going to put your hands together after what I say, because it is so worthy of note that the last mentee was from Nairobi, Kenya. So just know that CAWSTEM is here breaking boundaries and reaching African nations. So put your hands together for CAWSTEM. Awesome. And just in case you are yet to get the gist, the point is join the because in the tribe, there are these amazing opportunities, and that's how you get wind about these opportunities. And now, without further ado, we're about to go into our second panel for today. Who is excited for the second panel? It's going to be an insightful session, and this one is on leading change, managing and building STEM businesses. So we've learned how to break in and how to pivot. Now we're going to be taught how to dig deep and build things that last. On this panel, we have 4 speakers and our moderator again. I'll start with our speakers. We have, first of all, Titilope Macaulay. Titilope Macaulay is a graduate of pure and applied mathematics who now works in revenue operations. She consolidates sales, marketing, and customer management goals and activities to align with business goals and direction. She kicked off her career as a salesperson with experience spanning across tech services, solutions and products, personal finance, and fashion. She's also passionate about helping people enjoy fulfilling careers, leading to her co-founding a community for enthusiasts and professionals in business roles in tech, TSP community, a safe haven for entry levels, looking to get into the career path, mid-levels looking for human and personal development resources to step up in their career, and senior level professionals looking to give back. She recently launched her podcast, Journey to C-Suite, where she invests in people, helping them in business roles gain access to the thoughts and journeys of C-suite professionals in tech. Can we put our hands together and welcome Titilope Macaulay? Thank you so much for being here. We're glad to have you. Thank you, everyone. Our second speaker for today is Onye Okonji.
I've got a
Onye
question for you.
Okonji is a business
How well
leader
do
with
you know
experience
Yellow
in
Card?
financial
So you may know that you
services,
can buy
hospitality,
sell
and
your
catering.
stablecoin
As
instantly
Chief
on
Commercial
Yellow Card.
Officer at
But did you
Sycamore,
know that
a
Yellow Card has the
technology-enabled
best rates in the
financial
market?
services
I'm not
platform,
even capping.
she leads
You can
commercial
buy and sell
strategies
your
to
USDC,
expand
your
credit
USDT
access
and
for
other
SMEs
stablecoins
and
at the
individuals
best rates
across
with Yellow
Nigeria.
Card. There's no
Previously,
need for
she
long
worked
term.
at
Just
Ren
sign
Money
up now and start
MFB
enjoying
and
the
Page
best value for your
Financials.
stablecoin
Onye
with
holds a
Yellow Card.
psychology degree from Covenant
Yellow
University
Card.
and an
What's your
MBA
money
from
move?
Lagos Business School
Hey guys,
and
how's it going? I've got
IESEG
a
School
question for
of
you.
Management,
How well
France.
do you know Yellow Card?
She's an advocate
So
for
you may know
gender
that you can
equity.
buy and
She
sell
promotes the
your
advancement
stablecoin
of women at
instantly on
Sycamore
Yellow Card.
and
But did you
participates
know
in
that Yellow Card has
initiatives
the best rates
supporting
in the
girls'
market?
education. Onye is associated with Wimbees, Gaia Africa, and CIPMN. In her free time, she explores new cities, dances Kizomba, and shares her experiences as an African millennial executive on her YouTube channel, Red Nails in the Boardroom. Please, let's welcome Onye Okonji. Good to have you, Ma. Thank you for being with us. Our third speaker for today on panel 2 is Toyin Liza Jolapemo. I hope I got that right. Toyin has 10 years of experience in communications, marketing, and branding. She currently leads marketing and communications at Nestcoin, a Web3 startup. Before Nestcoin, she led digital communications at Oando PLC, Nigeria's largest indigenous energy company. She was previously a producer and in-house creator at Indani TV, a web-based channel owned by GT Bank, where she created written and video content focused on telling African stories. Over the years, Toyin has supported brands across the energy, technology, fashion, and entertainment industries in developing and implementing effective communication strategies to build brand equity. Please put your hands together and welcome Toyin Liza Jolapemo. Welcome. Our final speaker on this panel, before I introduce our moderator, is Omobola Atobatele. Omobolanle is an infrastructure specialist focusing on power, agriculture, and sustainable transportation. She recently drove strategic business development and partnerships for the Nigerian office of an international renewable energy company. For over 15 years, she has pioneered the creation of key business units across multiple sectors, some of which are financial services, environmental nonprofits, tourism, agriculture, electric mobility, interconnected mini-grids, and others. She has a particular focus to power and industrialize Africa through innovative solutions that will lead to an economically empowered African continent. She is also keen on leading the charge to solve the challenge of lack of innovative agricultural technology by bridging the gap between academia and industry. She has a BSc in Agricultural Engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, finishing as the best graduating student, and a Master's in Distinction in Environmental Engineering. She loves dancing as well, and is a marathon and guitar enthusiast. Through mentorship, She's keen on raising a new generation of youth who understand their dominion mandates and how they can contribute to socio-economic development. Please put your hands together, ladies, and welcome Omobola Atobatele. Welcome. All right, and with these amazing speakers, we have somebody who is going to guide our conversation. So our moderator for today is Chidi Uguru. Chidi Uguru is a leader. Thank you, ladies. You can put your hands together for her. Thank you very much. Chidi is a leader, salesperson, and advocate for empowering women in the workplace. Academically, she holds an MBA from Lancaster University and is a chartered accountant. She spent a total of 8 years at an accounting Big Four firm and grew to lead teams across several industries and jurisdictions. She's always curious, up for a challenge, and she has gone on to lead sales teams across diverse industries like digital media, asset management, Web3, and most recently, trade tech. Through these experiences, she has navigated leading teams for the first time, establishing rapport and delivering results. When she's not working, you can find her swimming, rereading Pride and Prejudice, or enjoying a glass of dry white wine. Ladies, put your hands together for our moderator, Chidi Uguru. Welcome, and I will hand over to you.
Thank you for letting me reshuffle you guys while they were. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Are you awake? Awesome. We're standing between you and lunchtime. So we're going to try and make it in 1 hour. They've told me 40 minutes for conversation and 20 minutes for questions, which means somebody has to tell me when it's 40 minutes. Who wants to volunteer? So just wave their hands. No, not the tech team. It's fine. I want somebody that is awake in here. Yes, ma'am. What's your name? Mercy. You're just going to wave like you're at a Beyonce concert. Yes? Awesome. All right. Hi, everybody. We've met over the emails, but good to see you in person. And we're going to get started immediately. The conversation is managing and building STEM businesses. They've read all our resumes, so everyone kind of knows what's going on. But just to test our mics and to reintroduce yourself to everyone, I'm going to start with the end in sight, so that nobody chases off the stage and you haven't said what you really wanted to come here to say. So what's the one thing, when you heard about this panel, you were like, when I'm on this stage, I must tell everybody in the audience this thing. We'll start from the end and work our way back to me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Say your name. It's afternoon now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Onyo Kunji. Starting with the end in mind, I think what I was going to say was really, the prelude was given by
Esther. Esther or Toby?
Toby, yes, it was given by Toby. But it was really around just establishing your confidence in what you're doing. It doesn't really matter what area, code or no code, it doesn't really matter what it is that you're looking to gain or establish with tech, right? Just be confident. You see a lot of people who come through, men, and this is no bashing, no men bashing thing, but just to point it out. Hi.
Go ahead.
Just to point it out that men would have the audacity to apply for roles that they're less than half qualified for. What is lacking is really the confidence in women to take on, just have the balls to do the same, right? You don't have to know everything or be in the place in your mind where you think that, you know, you are there. Just start afraid and be, you know, encouraged that, look, other women are alongside you are doing it scared and afraid.
Thank you, thank you. Titi? We're testing our mics.
Okay. So picking up from what she just said, this is not a man bashing thing, but then it's
Let's
really
just have that as a
important.
covering caveat. Nobody has to say it anymore.
Okay, cool. Like what Mine mentioned this morning, we have very few women in STEM up there, and it's very real. I was in a meeting yesterday with an enterprise company, really large company, all the way from here outside of Africa. And I realized that we've been engaging with this business for almost a year. And I have never for once engaged with a woman from the other side of the table. I've engaged with their CEO, I've engaged with, the CE people, and I'm always, meeting men. And it occurred to me for the first time. And another thing I'm going to mention is there is enough space. There is so many things out there waiting for you to grab and claim. Another thing I'm going to say is I have to have the courage. It seems like a no-brainer, but when you get out there, you would really see that there's a level of courage that it requires for you to even say there's this thing available and I'm going to get it. Because as a woman, especially if you are a woman with a lot of energy like me, right, there is a very high chance that you're going to be expected, you're a woman, you should have some level of, calm and
Very
peace. You might not be able to relate if you work in startup spaces. But then if you are outside of the startup space and then you're in more traditional settings, you would understand, what this really is. I work in a startup organization, I work in tech. But then by the reason of my role, I get to engage a lot with very traditional companies. And when my colleagues say things, there is no issue. When I say the exact same thing, you're very tough. And I feel like I don't want to get labeled, I don't want to get tagged. And then you are forced to then be a less version of yourself. Don't take that bait. Don't do that, okay? Be a good kind of difficult, all right? But then, don't be scared to, get labeled things like that, all right? Have courage.
Liza?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I think I love what Onye and Titi have said. I think for me, when I was thinking about this panel and talking about, leading change and leading STEM businesses, I think the first thing that came to my mind was we think about it as leading from senior roles. But if you're in this room right now, if you're in the STEM field in any way, if you're looking to enter into the field, you have the power and you have the opportunity to lead change. And what that looks like is, if you're in a role right now, it's self-advocacy. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't want to do that. We don't have the confidence to do that. But advocate for yourself and advocate for the woman next to you. At the end of the day, I think like the stats are like maybe 23% of STEM-related roles are filled by women. So we're all early adopters, and the onus is on us to advocate for more women, to ensure that today we're doing the hard work of being the only woman in the room so that in a couple of years there can be 10 more women in the room. And so for me, I was like, you know what? That's the one thing that matters the most. That's the one thing that makes sense. Yes, we're all here to develop ourselves, but it's how we're thinking about ourselves as leaders and people who are creating opportunities for the people that are coming behind us.
Talk to me.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Omobolanle Atobatele. Most people call me Mo, so that's easier to pronounce. So I think everyone has actually summed it up. But the key thing is that, it was 19 years this year that I graduated from OAU. And it's sad that I still enter into negotiating rooms and it's still male-dominated. So I finished as best graduating student, but I was also the only female in my set. And so what would have expected that things would have been better. So when Toby's bio was being read as the hydro and environmental engineer, I felt the pulse in the room like, okay, yeah, this is quite techy. But we need more people in the power sector. We need more people. The crippling challenges that we have in the country and in the continent, power, agriculture, transportation. We need more people, more women that are at the helms of affairs. And so for me, coming in here is, as a tech person, as an engineering person, I realized that quite a lot of we tech people are so technical, but not commercial oriented. So when you are working, it's always good to see the business side of things. That's actually, so Felicia mentioned it in passing, that at times you might have the title of as an engineer, but you are known for something. So solving problems, you know how to make cost savings in a space, or you know how to get the best deals. When you have that at the back of your mind as your core strength, as a commercially oriented person, you're seeing business, you're seeing opportunities, you're seeing, the company can diversify into this. When whoever you're working with sees that, they would know that this person knows how to identify money, because at the end of the day, money answers all things. So I think for me it's that key thing, that technical people, but please understand the business side of doing things, and it will make you rise faster in your career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So they said this is the one thing they wanted you to leave with. If you hear nothing else on this stage, it's have audacity, learn the commercial sides of the business, and make space for other women coming after you. So don't just be like, shut the door, I'm the most powerful person here and it should be only me. So make space for other people. So that's the talk. We can go, right? Okay, let's try a bit more. I think in this audience, we have pink bands. Where the pink bands say hi. Pink bands, hi. And we have a few aqua. Do we have some aqua left? Have they've gone? Hi, nice to meet you. So these are the ladies that we're supposed to be making room for, because this is the gold band club. We're the ones that have been here for a bit and leading businesses. So let's talk about the journey, how you've been changing. So we have different backgrounds. People have come from catering backgrounds. People have tech backgrounds like Mobola. So like Onye, for example, and Titi, I think are you more technical people? No, maybe Mobola. But you've gone through several things to now be on the commercial side and the leading and management end of things. Talk to us about that journey. And in that, not just I did this, and how did you handle the change personally and prepare for moving to the next step? Okay. Who wants to go first?
I could go first. So I studied math in uni, pure and applied math. I wanted to be a structural engineer. But then I went to a state school that was always on strike. So I dabbled a lot into different things. And before I graduated, I realized, I have more interests outside of math, engineering related things. I like business, but I like being in rooms, I like taking my money, I like creating, things from zero to, taking it from zero to, to one. And I leaned towards that more. When I was graduating, my HOD had called me to ask me if I was interested, and then she was willing to mentor me. And I'm like, okay, I've tasted, buying and selling, I've tasted let's do deals. I think I like this better. So, coming out, I thought that I was just going to go straight into starting something for myself. And I attempted that, but then I realized that for the kind of structure that I wanted, I didn't have the experience yet, right? So I kicked off career. I started as a salesperson because from my entrepreneurial attempts, I already had transferable skills in sales, marketing. So I just went into that straight. Started with a company that was, financial services, personal finance and all of that. And for every team that I joined as a newbie, in a few months, I would end up leading the team. And then that brings me to what Mobola said about being business-oriented, right? I'd run a business before. I'd worked 16 hours being the accountant, the this, for that, for my small venture. And then coming into 9 to 5, it felt like this is the only thing you guys are doing. Wow. So I had a lot of energy, right? I come into work, I take it personal, right? And then, my CEOs, because I would join startups, and my CEOs would feel like, okay, this person wants to work. Let me give you work. And before you know what's happening, I would start leading the team. So I started off leading the B2C sales team then. After a while, I got introduced to B2B, I got introduced to partnerships, and it was interesting, but, I felt like I needed to see, life more, so I went into tech. Started working with a product development company, and it was completely different. So here, I'd done math in school, but then I'm in a place where they are building apps, building this, and then you're hearing sprint planning, and I'm like, okay, you're not just selling. Now you're going to be consulting in a way. You're talking to CTOs, and so I had to learn, first off, what's going on here? How do you guys do things? Okay, I'm a salesperson, but then I needed to have a very good understanding of the industry. I needed to have a very good understanding of the services that we were offering. And let's have a very good understanding of the work that the professionals I would be interacting with that they do. So I had to learn. And that's one thing I'm going to point out. You have to be very flexible. You have to be very open to knowledge. You have to be very hungry for knowledge, actually. You have to be like a sponge. Soak up. It's going to go a very long way. I would get into a space that I don't know anything about, and in a few months, I'm talking like I'm an expert in the role. And so I went from being a salesperson. I initially was hired to sell a particular product, and after a while, my team lead said, "See, we need your energy in the more difficult part. Come and sell product development services." And then I got into that. I didn't know what I was about. I had always heard that it was be a very hard service to sell till dates. In the first month, in less than 30 days, I brought my first clients. And almost every month, I was having deals back to back, right? And after a year, I went up to lead the team, B2B. And then after some time, the company said, we need your energy in more than just sales, right? Leave focusing on just one part of the business to now let's bring you to, revenue operations. You're going to be managing the operations of the sales team. You're going to be managing operations of the marketing team. You're going to be managing operations for retention. And that's how I got into a new space where I had to now go from focusing on just one part, part to managing, more than just one ball. And it was, the first 3 months was hell in the sense that I like work, I like business, but this is different, all right? So it's like mechanical engineering people here. It's like crank mechanism. So you have different moving parts, and then they are connected with one bar, right? And it was very difficult for me initially. And one thing I'm going to say is, number one, don't be scared to make mistakes, okay? We are all going to suck initially. I sucked in the first 3 months. I was always confused. And my friends that I had were all maybe, just maybe team leads for one team. And then all of the advice that they had to give me was from that angle. But then the stage has changed now, right? And I need more. So I had to seek mentorship. I had to, seek.
We'll get into some of that quite a bit, just so that Onye can have a go. I think when you have given your answer this time, I want a bit more about the internal dialogue of moving, because your journey has been interesting for me to read, and just the internal dialogue of, I can do this, and now I can take this skill and do that, and oh my God, what am I doing? But I'm doing it. I want to hear some of that.
Okay, internal dialogue.
Talk to me.
Okay. So me in my head, right? And I'm always there.
Go for it.
So in general, I have, in my early career, I did a lot of things that, we should just finish school and earn money, So I studied psychology, and what has psychology got to do with STEM, right? I don't know. But I think that generally it afforded me the open-mindedness to be able to try out new things. So once I finished, I went into education, I tried that out. It wasn't for me. So I left and went into another form of educational management, and I still wasn't getting fulfilled. So at the time where in my early career was when, credit lending was really coming into town, and it was tech-enabled. And so I was like, my eye wasn't there, because I'm just like, what concerns me, psychology with, I just, was facing my front. And that's where visibility that someone mentioned earlier came in for me, because where I was in my early career, I was doing my work very diligently. I wasn't trying to do eye service. I was doing what they asked me to do, and then some. And it was someone that referred me and said, oh, this babe, where's she now? My former boss had to reach out to me to say, hey, someone's trying to refer you for a job. And I'm like, okay, let's go now. I think for me, it's the open-mindedness.
What did you feel in that moment when they called you and you're like, I don't know anything about what you just said?
I don't know, you will teach me.
Okay.
If you don't have a budget to teach me, then leave me where I am, really. Because the truth was that financial services in that minuscule scale was just becoming popular. And so I knew that there was going to be a lot of training, so I wasn't scared, right? So I went in and I was in sales at first and did that, got another job within 6 months from that, and just garnered the experience. What all that experience helped me to do was be able to partner and start my own, right? So I'm a co-founder of Sycamore now, and it seems like, financial technology, people are concentrating on the tech part. I don't do any of that, right? I have an eye for, who can do the work? And some of them are in the room. Some women of Sycamore, say hi. And that's one of them ahead of back-end engineering. And they're the ones that do the work. What we provide is the empathy, the soft skills, the enablement to be able to create an opportunity, an environment that is that affords women and other people, men and women equally, the opportunity to do good work and impactful work. In 5 years, we have grown 45x. We have over 125K users. And that's not because I did any technical anything. It started with open-mindedness, like, okay, this is something new in, in the environment. How can I partake? And then I was open to learning. And then I was open to partnering. So I think those are the three things that really stand out for me in building.
Do you have something? Go ahead.
So I just wanted to say this, and that, so yes, I finished with 2 degrees in engineering. But frankly speaking, I actually just started using, or should I say, allowing myself to be called an engineer 4 years ago. And I'm giving this perspective just to let you know that whatever your background is, you can, it's not too late. So I finished, and then I went to the financial services, Stanbic IBTC Pensions. I actually started the relationship management unit. I went for my master's, came back, I went into environmental advocacy. There was nothing tech. From then, I was itchy, and the internet dialogue, I just kept saying, there's more. I don't want to settle. And to thyself be true. When you get to a point when you feel there's more to life, there is more. There's something internally letting you know that it's time to change. From environmental advocacy, I went into management consulting. For management consulting was when I now broke into the power sector, renewable energy, and then started doing deals, on energy applications.
Mobala, if it's okay, we're going to talk about all of that, just so that we can. Please, thank you so much.
No problem.
I think what we've learned is be curious. We've learned to be open, and that people can refer you if they know that you are diligent. People can refer you if they know that you are diligent. So 1, you have to be diligent, but 2, people have to know that you are. Those things need to happen. Okay, so now we've talked about the internal journey. I think I'm going to start with Liza this time. Let's talk about actual teams. So it's leading change and building businesses. So for Liza and Mobala, we're going to start with with Liza, I'm sorry. What's in your head when you're starting the journey with a new team? So there's technical people in here, and most likely somebody will put you in charge of leading these technical people. Last I know, and I know you personally, I don't think you code. No. So how do we go from not coding to speaking the language that people will then form an idea or a vision behind and do what Liza says they should do? So go with Liza first, and then Mobala, and then we can take at least one more person. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start by saying something that I leave off of my profile is that I had a short stint being a general manager for a Web3 social product. And at the time, Chidi and I were the only women in the company at the time who had those roles. And I want to share a bit of my internal dialogue. Please forgive me, but you asked. So when I was working in the company, I was working as a comms manager, and I was leading the social team. And I had been there for 6 months. I went on holiday, and my boss calls me. He's like, "Oh, I want to have a chat." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on holiday." And he's like, "No, I need to have a conversation with you." So we get on the call, and he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to change the structure of the team. We are going to have general managers across the 5 products that I'm building, and that we're building, and I want you to be one of the general managers." And in my mind, I was like, "Sorry, why?" Like, what do you mean you want me to lead a technical team? It was a team of 12 people, I think. There were about 6 engineers, there were product managers, there were marketers on that team. And I was like, why? Like, I didn't say that out, but in my head, I was like, why do you want me to do this? And I was like, hey, you know what? Okay, like, yes. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll figure out the details when you come back. And I was like, okay. And one of the things that drives me is that I genuinely don't believe that there's anything that I cannot do. And if I tell you some of the things I've done, it's so ridiculous. Like when I came in, I was hearing people's profiles. I was like, I never know what to write in my profile because I'm just always doing something somewhere, and I don't know how it all connects. But it's taught me so much in my journey. And when I came to this point, I was like, hey, you know what? What is the one thing that stands out to you with all the leaders that you've come across, all the teams that you've led? Because I've led teams in marketing as well. And for me, it's understanding that like being a leader it's not about your it's not about your skills, right? It's about the soft skills. And for me, being a leader is about bringing the best out of everyone. That's all that it is. This is the goal. This is where we're going. How do I bring the best out of you to ensure that we get there? And so that was my approach. When I came on, I made it clear to everybody that, look, I know what you need to do, but I don't know what you do. I don't know like the day-to-day of your work, and I don't want to know it, right? All I want to do is I want to build trust with you. I need you to trust me, and I need to trust you as well, that you know what you're doing. Because for me, all I need is, if I can trust you, I can give you autonomy to do whatever you want. And most times when you're leading a team, the one thing that people want is to know that you trust them enough to let them do what they need to do. And so for me, I came on board, I was like, okay, you know what, you guys, I went, and the first meeting, I was like, you guys have worked with me, so you know me. You know what I know. You probably know what I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know it. It's like half the time I was asking them stupid questions, and they're like, I didn't care. I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, the only thing that matters here is that we don't fail as a team. Yes. And for me, I'm ready to be humble to not fail as a team. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to make sure that in the time that I'm leading you, I'm also learning what it is that you're doing and the value that you're bringing to the team. But my main goal is, can I give you a direction that makes sense? Can I make the direction make sense to you in terms of, this is what you do, this is how it fits into the bigger picture? Can I show you that I trust you? Can I celebrate you when you do the right things? And for me, that was literally it in leading that specific team.
Thank you. And thank you for casting that you know me too. Yay. Mabola, please go ahead. You were getting into a story and
yes.
I caught you before.
No,
go ahead.
No problem. So, and it's absolutely spot on because it just ties into where we are. So I gave that background to say that we're actually all work in progress. So if I have teams, so for instance, I have an electric mobility business to start or an agro business to start, the key thing is there's a deal to be won. Now, I also gave that journey to let you know that I'm actually not the technical person in the room. So my own has been the skills that I'd acquired. And I really like what Felicia said around the strengths. So I'm the kind of person, I'm a tough negotiator. I know how to strike deals. I know how to to look for people that will help me move I don't need to do the heavy lifting. What we call them stakeholders. So those were the things that became my core skills that I built over time. And so when I have a team to manage, I know my own area of strength, but I know that, I need a design engineer, I need a community engagement specialist. So there are quite a lot of rural projects, setting up mini grids, interconnected solar mini grids in communities in North Central Nigeria. And then I need a builder, a structural engineer to help me with the schematics. So when I'm going into the rooms, in my head, I'm like, I know my core. I'm like the coach. I have a football team. I'm the coach. You guys play your area of strengths. My own responsibility is just to navigate us and to ensure that we get the deal. So in dealing, in those instances is, first thing is, who are the key players? And so when you're a technical person, and you have a line manager that's business oriented, what you're looking at is the person just wants to deliver. Just do your best and look for more things to do. And so I would naturally, when I set up teams, I have the edge of this. But to be frank, the people that actually move the cheese for me are the design engineer that probably has 3-4 years experience. And I know this guy likes to work. He's my pally. So I will come down to the level. He's the person that I'm pallying with. Why? What do I need to do? I just want to get my design out. I don't need to speak to his boss. Do you understand? So I think those are the things that I've already covered. The other thing would be, how do we even go about it? So when I'm building things, I'm also looking for the person that wants to learn and is willing to take on more. That's really very critical, because we find that people, when people start off in their career, or, there's so many things that they can do aside just what the work says. And because of my role where I'm doing things across multiple sectors, I'm looking at who is the person that if I work with on this team, I can also be of good, or will help me. So honestly, I don't look at myself when I manage teams as the star player. I see myself as the enabler. I will get the deal. I understand what needs to be done. I'm very analytical in nature, but who are the people that I can work with? So managing the teams, drawing strengths. One of my key coaching styles is actually mentorship, and that was what drew me to CAWSTEM. So I'm a 2-time mentor with CAWSTEM. Yes, and those things really help, because I realized that we have quite a lot of managers, quite a lot of people leading businesses that you just want the work to be done. But you're not particular about the people that are in your team. You're not particular about their career growth. You're not particular about speaking their language. There's some people that don't like to be chatty when they're working. Just understand them and leave them in their lane, and they will give you what they want to do. There's some other people, they just need that opportunity. Just give them, they don't like to be micromanaged. If you're micromanaging that person, you've killed them, to the last. So I think the key thing at the end of the day is, to thyself be true. Know the end in mind. For me is, I want to win a deal. Who are the key players that I need? I pick them, I assemble them. We're having meetings. I'm allowing everybody to play their core strength. And at the end of the day, there's a report mechanism where, as a mentor I know how to draw the best. And I know, this is this person's weakness. I don't give them that responsibility, because at the end, it would, mar the project. So picking the strength of the person. Felicia also said something around, don't focus on your weaknesses. So I don't focus on the weaknesses of my team members. I know that this person cannot do this, so I'm not even going to give you that work to do. And I know that, this is your area of strength, and I give you the deal to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We've said very nice words. Onye, I'm going to lay on something on this question, because we're talking to technical people. And I manage a few technical people. And there's sometimes you're speaking to an engineer and they're like, no. It will take 3 months to do. And you're like, bro, or sis, there's revenue to be made, and it needs to be made tomorrow. So this thing needs to be ready. And you don't code. So if they're telling you it takes 3 months, how do you then discern, is this bobo? Or is this an actual factual situation that I should figure out? Maybe revenue plan we didn't factor this into the revenue plan, and we need to change things a bit. So talk to me about the word isn't negatives, but the more difficult aspects of being a non-technical person and managing a technical team. And then tell these people here how to make your life easier. Go ahead.
Okay, I think sometimes, so that you don't fall into helplessness, you really want to just understand. Liza said something about just getting into, you guys can do the work. My own is to deliver something at the end of the day, right? And when I'm thinking about it, because I'm called Chief Commercial Officer, I'm thinking about the money all the time. I'm thinking about revenue. I'm thinking about this forecast that we made at the beginning of the year. How are we going to meet it? So my own is negotiation. Okay, is this something I can provide, or we can provide as a team to make your work easier, to be able to cut that or bring that deadline forward a little? Understand from their own perspective, because sometimes they're dealing with technical difficulties difficulties that you know nothing about, but they have factored those things into the time that they're giving you. And because you know nothing about it, you are helpless to help, right? So you want to be able to sit down with them, sometimes over drink, sometimes, just, gisting, sometimes by the corridor. Hey, how are you? What's up with you? What's going on with you? And they say one or two things. You pick it up and deal with it, so that they know that they have a hearing leadership team. And this hearing leadership team will be able to address, even if it's, maybe the staircase is too high. Or
I know that's an actual thing that showed up.
Or we want to work overnight as opposed to during the day. Okay. Do you get? because maybe concentration levels, they're able to, yes, now, because there are some people that you're talking in front of them and they're coding. There'll be bugs, they can't concentrate. So it's how can we be more malleable to be able to accommodate you, for you to be able to accommodate us? And that's where empathy comes in leadership. We have to be able to understand from your perspective, trying to push away our own desire for revenue and all of that. We need to be able to put that on the back burner and be able to say, okay, how can I enable you to do what you need to do so that you are shining and then the whole organization too is shining, right? So empathy comes in very strongly. Sometimes it's really just locking your door and talking to someone for 2 hours and they're crying and expressing themselves. It comes in different ways and for different people and for different organizations. So you just need to be really open-minded to be able to say, hey, what's going on with you and how can I help? Yeah. How can I help? Because even as a leader, I'm here to serve you. So how can I help?
Thank you so much. We have one reaction, and some clapping. Clap, 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 clap. And then the reaction. Go ahead.
I just want to add something really quickly. Still on the point of empathy, one thing that I learned is that your tech team does not want you to make a decision and to decide a goal and an end date without speaking to them first. And I only learned this from... Sorry? Exactly. And I learned this, what you said about having a thorough conversation. While I was leading that team, I spoke to the lead engineer. He's a very, very tough exterior, very bit of a scary guy. And I just had a chat with him one day. I was like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. What's going on with you? You seem a bit... I just noticed that he had some frustrations around specific things. I was like, what's going on? He's like, one of his biggest challenges in the company has been that nobody speaks to him about anything. It's like, okay, we are going to release this feature next week. Okay, but you didn't ask me how long it's going to take to do this. And so, that was literally my biggest learning, that you sit at the top and a lot of the times you don't know what it takes. And it's like, again, empathy and humility to just come down and be like, look, these are our goals. This is what we want to achieve. You're the one doing the work. So let's figure it out. What is the right timeline? Can we speed up the timeline? If you can speed up the timeline, like Onye said, what are the things that we need to do? But technical teams definitely really, really appreciate that. So biggest learning.
Thank you. We're going to switch gears a tiny bit. And, I'm not going to do Mercy's job for her, but tiny bit. I want to talk about business. So it's leading change and it's like building a business. I wanted to ask, what's the one thing that has blindsided you as a business leader? That you woke up in the morning and you thought, my day is going to go from here to Jibo. And then you left your house and suddenly you're in Sangotedo. Why are you there? Why have you reached Nsukka, for example? What are you talking about? So something that has blindsided you, and not just that blinds, and then how you dealt with it. So I would love a whole range. I'm just like, it could be a regulatory change. It could be a personal life thing. I know my biggest change has been a personal life thing. We did these 16 personalities, and I went from a commander to a campaigner because of a personal life thing that happened. It softened me out real quick. So it could be personal life that you're willing to share. It could be an interaction, a conversation, something. So business, something that happened, and your whole approach to business and the way you did business just... Let's start from the end and work our way back to me. This is our last question. Not to do Mercy's job, but this is our last question.
Okay. So things that have happened and blindsided us. Mm-hmm. Where do I start from? So many stories. Beginning. We don't have the time. We don't. So policy changes, for instance. We had this product on the market that, we wanted to hit the bottom of the pyramid. We wanted to, make solutions for them, credit lending solutions for these guys. And we chose road transport workers in particular because there was nothing in the market at the time. 2020 came, not even COVID. COVID was one, but Okada ban, do you remember that? Wiped out a whole product and the revenue therefore, right? So there's policy change. So, when you're thinking about a business, you have to be thinking about advocacy as well, right? Japa,
Yes.
your people will get up, plan their life, and go with your business intelligence. And you're not going to begrudge them.
You can't do anything
You
about
can't do
it.
anything about it. You're going to now step back and retrain. If you don't train, you have untrained people. You better train, right? So you have to recruit. It's more expensive. It happens, right? Japa has happened to us. Blindsided.
Let's take those two and how you
Let me
dealt
tell
with
this very interesting one.
Go ahead.
This will be the last one.
Okay.
Last year, sometime in July, I woke up and I was going to Jibo. So I planned my day. Oh my God, I'm going for this WIMBIS program, and then I'm going to come back to the office. La 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 la. As I was at the WIMBIS program, I saw a tweet. No, I saw a group being formed based on a tweet that dragged us. We had our first disaster management listing based on a bad PR. That wasn't our fault. So there was an imposter thing that happened, and those people decided that they were going to use our full government name and list their app, and then be unethical with the practices. And they were also listed on FCCPC's list. So obviously, somebody dropped the ball. And then Google too, that lady from Google, sorry, but someone dropped the ball both places and then dragged us from where we were in our office. And nothing to do with us, but we had a whole media storm. 15 different blogs, newspapers, everything carried us. Again, we are thankful because we couldn't have paid all that money for marketing. It was a good thing that came out of it, but it was something that for a year we're still dealing with that storm because our app was taken down from the Play Store, and that was one of the major initiation channels for us. It was taken down from Play Store for over 2 months, right? Even though Apple kept, but how many people can really afford Apple phones, right? And so that impacted, of course, it would impact revenue, but before even looking at that, you're thinking you're walking on the streets or you're posting on Instagram and people are saying, look at you. Do you get? So there are things that would just happen. It happens. What are you doing about that? It's really about recovery, right? We jumped on a call with the PR agency, something that we never even thought was going to happen. We even became PR managers ourselves. And just putting the word out there and saying, okay, you guys that are just copying and pasting this report, why don't you do the homework for yourself? And I'm grateful for benjamindada.com. They did the investigation and came out with their own report. So the thing is, many things will happen that will blindside you. You just need to be able to adapt and keep going because that's the only thing that's going to keep you alive in Nigeria in business. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies, I'm going to put you under pressure. We're leaders, we can do it. We have 1 minute left. I know we won't do it in 1 minute, but she said it's over. That's what my time manager is telling me. As she said, there's no more minute, but I'm the moderator. So this is called leadership override. We'll do 3 minutes, so 1 minute each, guys. Please, please, please. Let's prove that we can do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so 2 things in business, operations and then business itself. So the first thing, STEM or no STEM business, you have to understand how to, collaborate with all of the teams to ensure that everybody puts out the work that they need to put out. So the number one thing that I learned, was communication styles. The communication style that you would need to use as a one-liner, facing just one team is completely different from when you're responsible for multiple teams. And I recognize that, not just communication in terms of this is what you need to do, this is what you need to deliver. Even you as a leader, you need to communicate clearly. So it doesn't become, what is my CEO doing? Or why is my team lead acting this way? Why is my C this, doing this? So it's very important for you to be in sync as to what even your expectations, what your deliverables are to your team members. So there's a sync. Also, collaboration with all of the working parts. If finance your app in 6 months, and then you didn't, collaborate properly, right? You are not in sync with the team that is going to carry that out. They're not going to care, and then your relationship with that business is going to go to pieces. So collaboration is extremely important. Communication styles, that had to change for me, right? So yeah, those are 2 very important things that I'm
blindsided you. Okay.
So my toxic trait is that I attract crisis. So I was in a company for 6 years. We had a crisis every single year because I so crazy to all of my friends and family because I'm now just like head in the clouds. Anything that wants to happen, God directs my life because that's the only way that you are not going to have a heart attack. Honestly, like the crisis that I faced when Chidi and I were working together. We just woke up one day. We had an FTX issue, and that was it. We had to. I can't remember what the percentage was, but we had to cut. Yeah, all of the money that we raised was gone. And we had to cut down the team. We were building 5 products, and we had to stop. We were like, okay, we need to do one thing. But it's like, at that point, I'd learned it. I was like, you can wake up tomorrow, the company will never be there again. So, hey, we move. What do we have to do next? Like, let's move on. And the second thing, actually, I just thought about a third thing. The second thing for me is...
It will be the second thing.
Sorry. Second thing is scenario planning. With anything that you're doing, try as much as possible to scenario plan. You, like, my first point was you not always know, but I think having some sort of a plan means when anything happens, you're not like, you don't have to figure out everything from scratch. You at least have a bit of a template that tells you go this way or this way. The last thing is, and I know it's more because of my field, you guys make friends in the media. If you run any business, media friends, anybody you know that works in newspaper, online blog, even if it's just an influencer that posts things on Twitter, make friends with these people. That's it from me.
All right. Thank you. And our final tip and blind side of the day.
Okay, so I think it would be just wear the cap of problem solving. I had a product that we had planned to sell to rural farmers, agro-processing equipment. We had bought it, and then we wanted to put it into the field, and it was shutting down the community, as in like over 300 people not having light. I think from then I just learned one was for the need to always look out for problems and be 10 steps ahead. And I'm saying this and saying, if this doesn't work, what would happen? What was the alternative? There was no alternative. We had a rural farmer, that was supposed to be paying maybe 18K per month to pay over because it's supposed to be productive user plans where they don't have the money to pay at once. So we're helping them to pay, and they're using, the solar power. So the first time is always have that problem mindset and willing to solve problems. It always helps. And the second was that, empathy, because I was so disturbed by it. And that's why when you read my bio and it says that, looking for solving agricultural problems, because of that, I had to go back to my alma mater. I had dropped agricultural engineering 17, 18 years back. I had to go back to my alma mater, sit down with some of my lecturers and say, I have this problem. I need you to do a machinery, to help me build a machinery that I can bring to the communities, and it will solve the problems. These people just have 20K per month to pay. As in how bad. And because of that, I have now carried that passion. So out of anything bad, and when we're wrapping up, when we have failures, things might not go the way we want them to. But there's always a learning point. And that learning point might actually be the answer to your next level, to the next season of your life. Because right now, I now push agriculture. And that's because of that singular problem. Because I know that there are rural farmers in North Central, across Africa, that need our help. But we need that machine. And we don't have it yet. But how can we solve that problem? And I'm going back to do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate this conversation was fantastic. So I think we have 20 minutes for questions, which means we can probably take 2, maybe 3 questions. Let it be a question that I didn't ask, but you really, really wanted the answer to. Someone talks about indirect mentoring. You have all these powerful women up here. Ask them everything now. Ask them if there are job openings in their office. Ask them whatever you need to. All right, so there's 3 rows? So columns. We'll take 1 question from each bit. Who has a question over here? Yes, ma'am. Come talk to me. Come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So my name is Adeshola Precious. I'm a biomedical scientist, but I'm also doing some tech courses in software engineering and data science. So as an individual, although I've heard about transitioning, and it can actually be tiring as a biomedical scientist, trying to juggle in the usual 9 to 5 and also put in tech course. So as an individual, I would like you to advise me. Would you say transitioning into tech, because before now, I've actually like wanted to code. Like I actually wanted to study computer science, but you know this, oh, you must do medicine and surgery, you must do this, you must do that. So I just want an advice as an individual. Transitioning into tech with biomedical science, do you think it's a perfect idea? Or do you think it's something I should just...
Okay, so I could
We're
take
giving
that.
career advice. Who do you want to answer this question? Because all of them want to answer, but tell me, we don't have time. Who do you want? You can't be any. They say you should choose, be a possessor of your life. That's what they said. Who do you want to answer? Okay, Onye, go ahead.
Okay, lucky me. Okay, do I think it's a perfect plan? You know, my sister on this panel said we're all work in progress, right? I'll give you a very quick example. I studied psychology. I went to business school. I now run a fintech, proptech, and a catering business. Where in the plan there was no plan for me, right? Again, open-mindedness. You were talking about having the time. Look, if you think that it's important, right, you will make the sacrifice. It's not going to be easy. Nobody promised you a smooth road. So even when you get into the tech, best know that it's not going to be easy. But if it means that much to you, then it's what it is. And you need to be able to own it with your chest. Not ask anybody, if this is what I want, how do I then get what I want? And these are the plans that you, knowing your own timing, knowing your own situation at home, then plan towards, and your pockets too. Because some people, for instance, I left my job and then I went to school full-time for my business school, right? I could afford it in that time because I needed to pivot. And I knew what was important to me. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to manage a full-time job and schooling. My head was not that big, right? I can manage one and concentrate. So can you manage the two? Do you have a backup to say, okay, if I can't manage the two, can I leave my current job and follow this path that I'm passionate about? And besides that, there are people on this panel that we have said that, look, we didn't learn anything technical. The first and last time I was in any coding anything was when I was 16 and just finished secondary school, right? They said, oh, NIIT was the thing. So I went there. I don't use it for anything. I don't remember anything, right? While work in progress, remember that. If it's important to you, do it, regardless of what people say. And make it work for you. Your own situation, financial background, everything. Make it work for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. While they were answering that question, leadership override happened. And so we don't have time for 2 more questions. I'm so sorry. They might be here for lunch and you can ask them, but we've been told we have to. My people are at the door. So thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for such an important conversation and for the time. And thank you for the one question. Oh, we're taking pictures. All righty. Who's doing that?
So you guys already know I'm going to come for you with questions, right? I hope you're preparing your answers for me already. Ladies, don't be distracted by the fine women taking pictures. Look at me here. Do you have your answers ready about panel 2? But how was that, though? Did we learn a lot? We learned a lot. That's amazing. And at this point now, everybody help them say cheese. Awesome. Can we give them another round of applause? Thank you so much, ladies. Awesome. Can somebody help me back with my... Oh, they're already doing that. Thank you very much. All right. And at this point now, once again, we just want to appreciate another one of our sponsors, our gold sponsors, on board by Nestcoin, who has also made this event possible. Can we put our hands together for our gold sponsor, on board by Nestcoin? We would not be here if our sponsors were not a part of us. Right about now, we're going to watch a video. But before we do that, I just want us to put our hands together again for another set of people. And these are our volunteers. Yes. They're here today serving, ready to help. We appreciate you very much. And now we want to watch a video as well from some of our volunteers. So just look at the screens. And let's get ready to listen to our volunteers.
My name is Linda Ikechukwu, and I'm currently a developer advocate for a US-based startup called CAWSTEM. I volunteered with CAWSTEM around 2018, 2019 to 2020 as a content contributor, which means that I was contributing articles or writing articles for their blog. The major impact that CAWSTEM had for me was just having access and seeing all these women that had started their STEM careers going or like successful at their STEM careers. At that point, I was just leaving school and I was trying to get my career started. So having access to these women and being in their midst was just a huge source of inspiration for me and motivation that
today I am super duper excited to be talking about CAWSTEM and my volunteering experience. My name is Rebecca Agadumo and I joined CAWSTEM in 2018 fresh out of uni, and I tell you that was one of the best decisions I made that year. CAWSTEM not only gave me an opportunity to grow in different capacities while serving in different capacities as content writer, community manager, but also gave me the opportunity to connect with other women in STEM. If you're a woman in STEM, you know that is pure gold. Interestingly, I tell you, thinking about the different capacities I served in, my current role, a hiring manager, actually reached out to me on LinkedIn because of my volunteer experience as a community manager with CAWSTEM. And the best part of it all is that conversation led to an even better suited role for myself in the energy sector. So when I think about CAWSTEM, I think about growth, I think about community. There's so much warmth there, and I am super grateful to Wamide for giving me the opportunity to be a part of CAWSTEM and being a part of my own journey. So I say congratulations to everyone.
Hi, my name is Oluwatomi Singh. I currently work in manufacturing transformation. At CAWSTEM, I volunteer as a programs associate as well as a careers associate. One word I use to describe my time at CAWSTEM is dynamic. I've had various opportunities to learn, to unlearn, to go over and beyond my comfort zone, and I've gained many transferable skills that are even relevant to my professional 9 to 5. One thing I'm particularly thankful for, I'm thankful for the amazing women and brilliant minds that I've had the opportunity to meet and to work with at CAWSTEM, even across Africa. I'm thankful for an opportunity to impact the lives of females in STEM, also across Africa. I look forward to generations of even more impact for CAWSTEM and for African women all around the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Wema and I am a CAWSTEM Viber. Presently, I volunteer in the social media arm of CAWSTEM and I have never regretted a day of it. I've been a part of the CAWSTEM journey for 3 years now. I had to leave at a point because life happened. But then I knew that I had to come back because there's no place like CAWSTEM. This is an initiative that I truly believe in and I know is capable of taking over the world someday soon. I have to specially celebrate the co-founders of CAWSTEM, Wamide and Temilade. I think that you ladies are doing an amazing job. I am so proud of you both. I am so honored to know you both and to work with you both. And I am sure that you're proud of yourselves seeing the summit come to life. Would I even be a volunteer in the social media arm if I didn't tell you to get social with us? Get social with us today. Our social media handles will be placed in this video and even after this video. So be sure to get social with us. Join our tribe. We have room for you. We have room for all your other African women in STEM that you know. So please bring them along.
CAWSTEM on all the social media platforms at CAWSTEM, on IG, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So make sure to do that and also join the tribe. because these are volunteers we just heard, not even the mentors or the mentees. So they're just amazing opportunities for us in the tribe. All right, now, I like this part of the events that we've got into. Can everybody say hello, online viewers? Don't be proud. I know you're in the room, but let's also welcome. Let's put our hands together for them. We're glad that you could join us today. Even if you couldn't be here in the room, you still joined us. And so, I'm happy to announce that we have some amazing gifts for you, our online viewers. And right now, it's because our amazing partners have made this possible for you to win some prizes today. And all you have to do is just answer questions. Who likes Q&A in school? Okay, we don't like Q&A. Just so you know, it's not multiple choice, so it's not A, B, C. No, you're the one that's going to tell me the answer to the questions. And so we have 7 gifts for 7 lucky winners online today. Can we put our hands together for our partners who made this possible? We have 3 vouchers worth 10,000 naira from mytherapist.ng. We have 2 vouchers from Stories by Bedrock for 2 lucky winners to use their gallery space to showcase their artwork or to engage in creative activities. Let's put our hands together for them. And as well, we have 2 essential vitamin plans from Pharmacy. But that's not even all. Pharmacy is also extending a 10% discount on all care plans to all our community members here in Nigeria. So I just want to say again, if you have not yet done it, join the... Yes, if you are singing this in your sleep, just know that it will stop when you join the tribe. Yes, don't be annoyed. It will stop when you join the tribe. So we have 7 gifts for 7 lucky winners. Our online attendees, I hope you are ready. Can I have somebody with a mic who is going to be telling us the answers from our online attendees? Awesome. We have someone who's going to be doing that with us. Yes, let's put our hands together for her. Thank you. So, our online attendees, are you ready for the first question? They're right here. Please give them ginger. Ginger, clap for them. Online attendees, your first question is this. What is the full meaning of CAWSTEM? Okay, if you know it, just whisper to your neighbor. Don't tell the online people. Whisper it to your neighbor. What is the full meaning of CAWSTEM? First correct answer. Do we have anybody yet? Not yet, not yet. Online viewers, please don't disappoint us. We're waiting for you. Let's give you a mic. Online viewers, the full meaning of CAWSTEM. I believe Wamide mentioned it. People in our panel mentioned it. Even me, I mentioned it. So please don't fall my hand right now. What is the full meaning? Awesome. They're typing. They're typing. Please type the correct answer. Don't just type anything. What is the full meaning of CAWSTEM? But if you're in the room here, you know it. Can I see your hand? Okay. I want you to just tell the person sitting next to you. We're going to do a marking scheme now. Just tell the person sitting next to you. Tell them. Go ahead and tell them. Whisper it to the person. Okay.
We have one person.
We have one person. So you see the answer that your neighbor just told you. Hold it first in your chest. When I now say the correct answer, if your neighbor got it right, just raise your hand up.
Actually, I have 2 people, but one is wrong. The first person, Oluwatimile in Tawakat, Adigbeson said, Community of African Women. And Modupe Adedokun said, Connecting Women in STEM.
I have a question now. Please, if Lady 1 is correct, raise your hand. If Lady 2 is correct, raise your hand.
Another person is saying, Career Up for African Women in STEM.
Online viewers, you're making me want to hide my face. What's going on? Okay.
Someone else says, Connecting African Women in Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics.
That's right. That's good. Thank you, ladies. You're correct. What's our winner's name?
Ox.
Winners, your name's online.
She's not using her real name.
XOLF.
Yeah, she's not using her real name.
On YouTube is XO. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Congratulations. You have won yourself an essential vitamin plan from Pharmacy. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay, for our next winner. This one should be very easy. I feel like this is a giveaway for you. Now, who are the 2 co-founders of CAWSTEM? I expect this answer in like 3 seconds. 3 seconds. No answer.
Does it type in?
3 seconds has passed already.
Does it type in?
Okay, just don't fall my hand, online viewers. We're waiting for you. Let's put our hands together for them. Ginger, go online viewers.
still waiting. I guess
Online
they're doing their
viewers.
research.
Are you sure that research is not opening their book and trying to find online viewers, no cheating? But we want somebody who will give us the answer. And this person is going to be winning. Are you ready for it? 1 voucher from Stories by Bedrock to use their gallery space for their artwork or to engage in creative activities. So let's see who our winner is going to be.
What's still waiting?
Online viewers don't know the answer. Oh. Hey.
They know the answer.
They know the answer.
They know the answer.
Online viewers, we believe
That's
in
thinking.
you. We really believe in you.
So someone just responded. The Diary of a Tech Sister says Wamide and Florence.
Tech Sister.
Someone else says Wamide and Imashan and. Another person says Wamide and Temi Adeoye. Another person, Pressure, says Wamide and Imashan Folusho Gbadamosi. And we have Modupe Adedokun says Wamide and Imashan and Temilade Adeoye.
Please, can we put our hands together for her? She has won herself a voucher from Stories by Bedrock. Wow, the person online that said I'm Folusho Gbadamosi. I'm hiding my face on your behalf, boys. Okay, we forgive you. We forgive you in advance. Okay, let's do one more question.
Okay.
Speaking of Folisha Gbadamosi, this question is about her. She shared her story with us, her journey. Who remembers when she graduated? Wow. Please, ladies in the room, put your hands together for yourselves. The confidence with which you raised your hand assures me that you know the answer. Now again, if you know the answer, turn to your neighbor and tell them the answer. Because we're going to check and make sure that you know the answer. Do we have anybody yet online?
Not yet.
Online viewers, don't fall our hand. Give us the date. Okay, just the year. She mentioned the year, so I'm not asking for January 1st. No. Just give us the date.
Someone just said 19 years ago.
Okay, but you'd have counted the years first. Well, how many years is 19 years ago? What year was that? Let's see if the person is correct. 2005. You're not correct. You're not correct. Okay. Your neighbor has told you the answer, right? Just keep it. Just hold on first. We're going to check something. Online viewers, give us dates.
So the Diary of a Texas says 2018.
Text is... No, I think it was a typo. She mistakenly typed it. It wasn't intentional. It was a mistake. Okay, online viewers. We're warming up.
So Fumilola Fadia says 2003.
Fumilola, we applaud you. I think you're close.
Pressure says 2005. Why do I have a feeling like some people here are part of our online audience?
Really? Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so Great Love Okpeyemi says 2001. Adewale says 2002.
Please put your hands... Okay, but those of you that your neighbor told you something, is that really what they told you? Are you sure? Don't... Okay, clap for yourselves then. I thought you guys are just trying to protect your neighbors. Okay, Adewale, you are a winner. And you have won yourself... Let's see, what did you win? You won yourself 1 voucher worth 10,000 naira from mytherapist.ng. Put your hands together for mytherapist.ng. Okay, now, so what we're going to do is, online viewers, this one, I just want you to be typing in the comments. We're going to pick 2 people each. So from panel session 1, I want online viewers to tell us their biggest take home. So the first 2 people that we see, your biggest take home from panel session 1. 2 people, online viewers. Fastest fingers.
I guess that.
Quickest memory. Who remembers what they took home from panel session 1? 2 people. 2 people. For a chance to win an amazing gift from us here. 1 essential vitamin plan from pharmacy and 1 voucher from Stories by Bedrock. 2 people, 2 people, 2 people. Do we have them yet? Do we have them yet?
Not yet. I guess they're typing.
Online viewers, type.
No, they're about to give us a paragraph.
Don't worry. Or some people might give us a dissertation. Yeah. I don't know, is there anybody here who can tell us in 3,000 words what they left from panel session 1?
I think the answers are coming in.
Okay, let's hear. So, just hold your own answers first.
The Diary of a Texas say be open-minded. Oluwatimilei Tawakate, know thyself.
It's okay, dear. It's okay. I think we're good with those 2 people.
Yeah.
Please, can we put our hands together for Diary of a Texas? Because this is her 3rd try. She didn't give up until she won herself a gift. So congratulations to our online viewers. 2 people have just won themselves those 2 gifts. And now we have the last 2 gifts. 2 vouchers worth 10,000 naira from mytherapist.ng. Now, I want another 2 online viewers to give us their take home from panel session 2. Let's go. I like how panel session 1 winners gave us just short answers. You know, straight to the point, quotable quotes. Know thyself. Somebody say to your neighbor, know thyself. Because if you don't know thyself, you have not even started yet. So just know thyself. Panel session 2. What quotable quotes can you give us from there, online viewers?
That's typing.
They're typing.
They're
Please
typing.
type. We have gifts waiting for you. Please, does anybody in this room also want to win a gift?
Precious says you're the author of your story. Believe yourself.
Our moderator is laughing. She should not win the gift. Should she win the gift? What do you think? She should win the gift, right? Let's put our hands together for Precious. Precious has won herself 1 voucher from mytherapist.ng. One more person?
Yes. So the second person, Mojikwe, again, says be open to knowledge and be flexible.
I like it. Put your hands together for Modupe and for yourselves for remembering the points from panel 2. So our online viewers, thank you very much. Where you are, just put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much. Put your hands together for yourselves for taking notes, listening, engaging, and enjoying yourselves. So, well, ladies in the room, do we feel a little left out? Wow. Can you the way you guys answered me with such speed, I'll be a bad person if I don't tell you that there's also something for you as well. But yes, put your hands together. Let's celebrate our sponsors who have made this available for us. But in the meantime, before we do that, right, we're going to go on our lunch break. And when we come back, we're going to come back with that energy to win gifts. You see all the people that were telling their neighbors answers. Your own questions are ready. So when we come back from our lunch break, we're going to go into our own gift session. But for our online viewers right now, there's going to be a networking session for you. And our speaker for that networking session is Olayinka, who is a seasoned data analyst and data analytics trainer with extensive experience championing data-driven decision-making across different fields like financial services, venture capital, and not-for-profit. She's passionate about helping young women and girls transition into tech careers and serve as a mentor for women through different organizations that she belongs to. So this session for the online audience is going to focus on career clarity and transition. So our online viewers, you're about to go into your own mentorship session straight away. So please still keep your notepads beside you, keep your pens. There's going to be a Zoom link in the comment section for you to access this mentorship room. So check for that once you see it, click right away and join in. While my ladies in the room, like I said, you're going to go on your own lunch break now. And we now want to appreciate our silver sponsors today because they have booths outside waiting for us to visit them and to ask questions and to engage them and their services. We have our silver sponsor, Propel. Can we put our hands together for Propel? Propel is our talent partner. And they're going to be organizing a CV clinic actually for much later in the event. But just to mention that to you, I don't know how many of us remember to come with our physical copies of our CV. It was in the brief, right, of the event. Some people came with us, so you get to visit the CV clinic later. We also have our silver sponsor, Yellow Card. Yellow Card is here just in case you have, some millions somewhere that you are not using. You just need to invest it very quickly. Ladies in STEM, you guys were making some millions somewhere. You get to visit Yellow Card today and invest that. And we also have our third silver sponsor, Credit Direct. Can we put our hands together for Credit Direct? So for Credit Direct, if you need a loan, probably one of the things we've been talking about starting here, and you need a loan, their booth is outside. You get to visit them, ask questions, and see how you can have access to these things. We also want to thank our bronze sponsors for today. Our bronze sponsors, sycamore.ng and Create Careers Limited. Yes, put your hands together for them. We would not be here today if not for our sponsors. So thank you so much for making this event a possibility. Remember, follow us on our socials, and we have hashtags that you can use when you're posting your pictures. I mentioned that for a reason. So who remembers our challenge for networking? Our ladies with the bands. Pink ladies, say hi. Pink ladies, bring me some energy. Pink ladies, say hi. Better. Aqua ladies, say hey. Aqua ladies, let's try that one more time. Aqua ladies, say hey. Awesome. And then gold ladies, say good to meet you. Gold ladies, let's try it one more time. Say good to meet you. Awesome. So what we're going to do now outside during lunch, aside visiting the booths outside, I want you to meet one lady in each of these career levels. That's all I'm asking. And so for the people that meet those ladies, when you come back, I'm going to have something special for you. So who's ready to win some goodie bags? Who's ready to win some goodie bags? Awesome. You can also visit our headline sponsors booth outside, Money Points. They have goodie bags for people who come around to open accounts with them. So I'm about to go there right now. I don't know who's following me, but yeah, exactly. So just make sure you're back in the room by 2 p.m. You can start to come in at 10 minutes to 2, so you settle down, talk with your neighbor a little bit. Into the hall at 2 p.m. You can start to come in at 10 minutes to 2. But before that, can we just put our hands together for our speakers as they leave and go outside? Thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you. We learned so much. They'll be outside. If you see anybody outside that you want to engage with, yes, put your hands together for them as they leave. Thank you, ladies.
That's why we're going to be there for you even more than we ever have.
By providing you with 3 months worth of inventory restock.
2 months worth of sewing materials. Oh my God.
Let me call her.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Baba.
Deo.
You guys will not understand what I'm going through, but I really thank God.
So I'm with Money Point, and they just gave the business 1 month's worth of for logistics for movement.
Access to enterprise customers. We hope this makes you. Oh my God, it's making me smile to my teeth. Thank you. Store every day you get free stuff. Thank you.
God bless you.
It seems like everybody doesn't even understand how hard stuff is out there, and this means so much to me. So much.
For businesses across Nigeria, we have just one promise. We are always going to be here to make you happy.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm grateful. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Happy World MSME Day.
Credit?
People say opportunities are everywhere. Opportunities to learn, grow, make new friends, express oneself, hone a skill, and even increase earning potential. While this is true, access to these opportunities doesn't always come easy. At Propel, we're focused on bridging this gap and providing equitable access to opportunities. We take a unique collaborative approach to connecting African tech talent to the best opportunities. Our dream and purpose is ultimately to put tech professionals like you at the center stage and enrich lives through meaningful work and inclusion. We've built a community-powered talent platform that makes it easy for you to access tech jobs, perks, and embedded finance. What does this really mean for you? With our platform, you get access to remote and relocation roles with fast-growing global companies like Mercedes, Farfetch, and Siemens. You also get discounts and best deals on lifestyle products, health and wellness services, gym subscriptions, co-working spaces, food and drinks, and so much more. Finally, you get access to critical financial services like laptop loans and quick credit. Essentially, with our all-in-one talent platform, you can apply to as many global tech roles as you want, track the progress on each job application, save money with our exclusive discounts from our partners, and get short-term loans and, of course, prompt user support. Are you ready to get started on this journey with Propel? Head over to propel.community. It's time to grow with Propel.
Happy. You can buy and sell your USDC, your USDT, and other stablecoins at the best rates with Yellow Card. There's no need for long talk. Just sign up now and start enjoying the best value for your stablecoins with Yellow Card.
Yellow Card. What's your money move?
From a bustling street of Lagos to the serene landscapes of Nigeria, Credit Direct is by your side. With a strong presence in 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory and a growing community of customers across Nigeria, we are here to support you. Wherever you are, we are dedicated to providing financial solutions that bring you the peace you deserve. From our personal loans to quickly access funds to manage life surprises, fund management where you can watch your money grow, to buy now, pay later where you enjoy the power of flexibility and affordability in every purchase. At Credit Direct, we envision a world where financial well-being is a reality for everyone. Credit Direct brings you Yield, a reliable platform designed to grow your money securely and efficiently within a fixed term. As a member of the FCMB Group and fully licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, Credit Direct has built a legacy of leadership and innovation in the lending space. Now, we're taking it up a notch with Yield, our latest offering that delivers competitive interest rate of up to 20% per annum, ensuring consistent financial growth despite economic mood swings. It's designed with you in mind to make growing your money straightforward and rewarding. Signing up is quick and easy. 1. Visit yield.creditdirect.ng or scan the QR code on your screen. 2. Create your account and explore a range of yield plans with tenors from 1 month to 12 months. 3. Choose your desired plan, name your yield, and fund it. That's it. Sit back, relax, and watch your money grow with our user-friendly dashboard. At Credit Direct, we envision a world where financial well-being is a reality for everyone. Visit you.creditdirect.ng and start making your money moves today.